All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode, man. Where's KB, man? We got the usual suspects in the building. Got my boy Basic Logic.
Yerp.
Are you okay with that, man? You be complaining about me coming to you first all the time.
Ain't got no choice now.
Yeah, that's true. So sad. But we got some special guests in the building, man. All the way from Fort Valley. Hey, Fort Valley in the building. You know what I'm saying? I love when there's a full Fort Valley cast, man.
Whole crew.
That's great, man. But
man.
we got my man Ed and Brit in the building.
What's going on, man?
Y'all mind introducing yourself, man? Tell them who y'all are and
Ladies
where
first.
y'all come from. Yeah.
Ladies first.
So my name is Brittany Hall, and I graduated from Fort Valley State University with a degree in computer science.
Hey.
So I'm originally from Louisiana, so a city called Booty, Louisiana, right outside New Orleans. And currently I'm living in McDonough.
Donna, shout out.
Yeah, down there in Henry County.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, y'all? It's Ed, Edward Hall. I went to Fort Valley as well, graduated with a degree in computer science. Brittany and I are married, if you guys haven't figured it out by now, for those that don't know us.
That's a good tidbit there.
Yeah, just go ahead and put that out there now.
That was that stay away, like, yeah, y'all listening.
You don't know.
You know.
Just letting you know. But I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. Moved over here when I was my junior year of high school,
Right.
down there in Henry County. So I was in Georgia for 6 years, and then moved up to Maryland after I graduated, because I graduated a year before Britt did.
Right.
Was up there for 6 years, working for the Department of Defense, and then we got married in 2015,
That's right.
and we moved back down here. You moved down a month. You moved down in what?
A couple of months before. So I moved down right after graduation. So I went to Johns Hopkins and I received my master's in information systems engineering. So right after, literally a week after graduation,
Yeah.
I ended up moving down because I transferred, still with GE. So I work for GE. And then you moved down like what?
August, September. Cause I was still waiting for a position to open up for me. So I also have my master's. I got mine from University of Maryland, University College, which is just like a subsidiary of like University of Maryland.
Right.
And that, actually with that school, like a lot of people that work in the Department of Defense, they go there for their masters. So I think like I looked at the numbers. I think it was like 90,000 people that go to that school.
Wow.
Because you have people that are like in Maryland and like just throughout the country, and then people that are actually deployed, they go to school there. So like for different, like it's basically like cybersecurity, like ID information assurance, like you have like all those different types of facets for it. And like the Department of Defense, they're actually like one of the biggest, not vendors, but one of the biggest sponsors for that school.
Right. So y'all degreed up basically. Yeah.
Shot time. We almost forgot.
Oh man, I always forget the shots, man. All right, man. Let's shot, man, to a good episode with good people. Yeah, let's go.
All right.
All right. I don't never tap the table, man. Is that like a bad little thing on top the table?
I don't know. I didn't start doing that till I got to Maryland.
Yeah, I think when we moved to.
I didn't know there was a thing.
People used to do the whole little speech before. The little
Up to it, down to it.
Up to it, down to it.
I don't even know what they say.
I
True
I
to
never learned it, bro.
Up to it, down
It's
to
like-
it. It's like F those that don't do it. Something like that.
None of us know it.
I've heard it a couple times.
Right.
I still don't know it.
Yeah. But yeah, man, y'all agreed up. I thought about going back to get my master's, but I was like, man,
IT, it's like you can
get
now
by.
that I look back, right? That's what I'm saying. Like IT is more of a field where if you get good in one area, like you can basically leverage that forever, as long as you keep your skills sharp. Sharp. And looking back on it, it's like you technically don't need it. But for me, it was more so like a personal thing. Like, it was something I, always knew that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then, just wanted to make sure that I was still, marketable. Because, like, right now I work with a lot of different, we, have a lot of people that work, like, offshore. And competition is crazy right now. So I'm like, if things start to get automated or pushed out, I just wanted to kind of have that leverage. Right?
Yeah. And if you ever want to go out of IT, it's good to have your master's. Yeah.
It really just looks good. Like the only I can tell you, like the only reason I really got mine was because like I got the government to pay for it.
That's
they paid for it, so it's like it wasn't like a loan, and like they just paid it because they had a program where they would pay for so many classes per semester. And I was like, well, if I didn't, they didn't have it, more than likely I wasn't gonna pay for grad school.
Yeah, and shout out to Dr. Swain. She always say never pay for your
Never pay for your
graduate
education if
degree.
you ain't got to, man.
That's
Never
actually
do
how
it.
we like all connected.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to jump back into, man.
Yeah.
Fort Valley, man. I feel like I'm leaving base logic out of this conversation, but this is the time where you're not included in the conversation.
But I met both of y'all together. Like I remember, so freshman year we went to an NAACP meeting. I think you were vice president?
NAACP.
Yeah. So he was vice president of NAACP, and I went to a meeting.
You were the president. I was
Yeah, you was the president.
I
Yeah.
don't remember. That probably was the last meet he came to.
No,
Oh no, I do remember some drama.
Yeah, that was,
Y'all remember that shit?
yes.
That's when
before
I
my
first
time,
met y'all.
man.
Yeah, you wasn't there
I
that
wasn't there
semester.
yet.
That's when I first met y'all.
Because I was vice president of SGA,
Yeah.
and of
You were so studious.
thank you, and of NAACP. And you were the president at the time, but we had that meeting jumping, like we was pumping that jump like it was a party.
NAACP used to be
We had
popping.
people waiting at the door.
We had like 100 and some people come
the
to an
CTO.
interest meeting, bro. That shit was crazy.
What was y'all
Yeah,
doing?
NAACP was
Bro, we was
popping
just
freshman
pubbing that
year.
shit, bro.
Like,
Pulled it like it was a party. We was like, yo.
We probably exactly like a party, bro. We was outside like, hey man, come, hey, you know about NAACP?
Come on in.
We would make people
y'all
feel
was
good.
y'all was some hard recruiters.
Yeah,
Like,
we was on it.
I think it was really just like y'all graduating class like 08, like they just
08 was
wanted
lit.
they wanted to be involved because when I came into Fort Valley, like I think y'all class was real small. I might have been like 50 of y'all.
Bro, why you got to start with that?
I'm just saying. It was like
Wait,
What that got to do with the
what year
story,
you
bro?
came in?
he's 04.
Oh, 04.
and what-
I was 05.
Oh,
Like
okay.
05, we had
So
like
you
a
think y'all
100.
had like a 51?
No, we had like 100.
Y'all class was not big.
It was bigger than y'all.
Okay.
But it was still little because I graduated with like 400 people. So for me to come in, like,
But
it was.
you know why else NAACP probably was like so popping that year too? Because that was the same year Obama got elected. Because I remember the night, like election
Everybody was
night.
being ratchet.
Yeah.
I remember she called me that night of election night because I was
Election
at
night.
home and she was just like, "Oh my God, Obama won!
Yeah.
I'm in the student
So
senate."
everybody was
like,
trying to be like, you know,
Dang,
Everybody was in
involved.
it. Yeah, but
everybody got
everything
woke
was.
before woke happened.
Yeah.
Obama bump. That's what we had.
Everything was popping around that time. But yeah, like I said, y'all class was just everybody wanted to be involved because like y'all came like deep. It was probably like 500-600 y'all. That's some rivers that came and brought in.
Them new students, them new buildings got.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
that was
The
Yeah.
new dorms, and it was
That's
just
what it was.
it was
the
literally
HBCU was new. I
Yep.
think.
yeah, and they overtook everything, and they wanted to be involved in it, which I liked.
And another thing now, if Rivers let down the damn requirements to get in now.
Hey,
yeah.
spell your
Yo,
name.
That's
What's
how you
that
got all the people.
program? That
I don't
program
know.
with the college.
Crap, what was it?
It was a community
Learning-
college.
learning something.
development.
Yeah, some they ain't have to like.
Yeah.
Some of them ain't even take SAT
They didn't. They were just like, just come on in.
because they put them in a developmental DS class.
No, for real.
That's what they did.
That's how they got all the
That's
people.
how the numbers were.
And that's how Rivers got all the people to come in. Because I think, so I transferred in 09. And I remember like, that's right after.
Wait, you transferred in 09?
I transferred in
I don't know
09.
why I thought he was there at the beginning.
I transferred in 09.
Damn. Okay.
But like,
okay.
like I remember like watching that. I think all the people that was at Fort Valley at that time, it was like close to 5,000 students.
Yeah, it was
Fort Valley
crazy.
has never seen that since
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
And it's like Rivers was just like, I don't know if they were just getting a lot of money for it or what. Like I
Yeah.
forgot the.
No, you know what was happening because Fort Valley was finessing. He was getting all the students, and they already kind of BS a little bit with the tuition, like with the financial aid, because they getting all their money for the students, and then they holding our refund checks, collecting the interest on it, waiting to give it
Wait,
to
was
us.
that the plan, my nigga? Bruh, that sound like some shit you just cooked up.
All right, I saw
The
the
interest
whip.
them holding for them 2 months.
Bruh, I was the VP of SUA, so I saw a lot more. Like I was in those meetings when they were planning on building the dorms and the new student center. We like picked the schematics and everything, and it was cool. It was a great experience, but we did see a lot of, and that's not to put down HBCUs, because I feel like a lot of that happens on there. So you see it a lot with a lot of disorganization, but I just feel like it happens too much with our schools, where it's just like,
It's true.
I got friends that go to UGA and stuff, and even like smaller schools like Georgia Southern and Kennesaw, they getting their refund checks the first week of school, it's like September and we like
Struggling.
I wonder have they ever figured that out, man. Like they shouldn't at this time. They shouldn't be doing that shit.
Cause did y'all have easy refund cards?
Yeah.
So that was like remember that was brand
brand
new with
new.
us.
Yeah.
We had them on campus. We was like, oh, easy refund.
We used to have to
Yeah.
wait for them to.
Load up the cards.
No, before I'm talking about before the
Oh,
easy
you had to
refund. When
wait
I
for a
first got
check.
there, wasn't no easy
had to wait
refund.
for a
Yeah,
check.
wait for
Nigga,
a
I used
check.
to go get a paper check.
Yeah, we had to wait for a check and then deposit that into your account.
Yeah.
But you know.
But I think despite all of that, it was still a good opportunity for, people who maybe couldn't get in.
Hell
Because
yeah.
it still gave them, a
I
chance,
think the
basically. And I feel
intention-
like a lot of
yeah.
people, ended up, still graduating
Yeah.
and doing good. So
Yeah.
you got to
Intention was
commend
very-
them
the intention
for
was good.
trying.
Yeah.
And then that was during the time where all the New Orleans stuff happened. We had a lot of people come in from New Orleans too.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did have a lot of people come in from Katrina.
Oh yeah.
And then they came in. I remember when I was there, my freshman year, I don't know.
Yeah,
my,
because Katrina
Well,
happened in
Katrina
we
hit
got a lot of
05,
people
05.
from.
Katrina hit my freshman year because I remember
Was it
that's
your freshman year?
Yeah, because I actually met. That's how I met my cousins are from LaPlace, and that's how I met them. They had came out here to stay with their dad.
Yeah.
And I had went. That was actually my first time actually going to New Orleans. Was after then, and that was y'all know how that was. That was
Yeah.
that was the experience. But I wanted because y'all did say that y'all went to the other schools where y'all got your masters.
Oh wait, before we skip past
yeah.
the NAACP part,
Oh.
y'all remember that drama? All that.
Oh, I was trying to skip that.
Recap.
I
wasn't there,
was-
so
I
we
wasn't
don't
there.
know.
Inform
Oh,
me. Please
bruh.
tell me.
That was
Bruh.
some bullshit. You and Natalia.
bruh. Now refresh my memory now. So
Yeah.
So God damn, I'm trying to think. Okay, we was running for new positions,
Okay.
and Ian was running for president,
Right.
and then this new girl was running for president too.
Okay.
Jasmine.
Jasmine. There you go.
Not my Jasmine.
No.
It was another Jasmine.
I don't even know what happened to her.
Bro, I got updates.
Oh Lord.
Oh
The
Lord.
last 2 weeks. I was like, who the fuck is this? I'm gonna tell you. Oh Lord. But yeah, so that's why I was like, oh shit, I forgot.
Yeah.
But so they both were running for president, right? And then I think
I remember that.
we did a voting, and like I said, NAACP were booming then, you know what I'm saying? And that shit was like, I don't know if it was like a tie or it was like, do you remember like, you might have lost? And I was like, bro, this is like the SGA vice president.
It was the thing that happened was
It was some crazy shit happened.
Yeah,
I can't remember though.
It's because I think because usually you say who wants to run,
Right.
and then like people get their speeches together and they say, hey, why you should vote for me?
Right.
What happened was
I think
I
I
had
remember
did my speech beforehand because I had been in SGA for like a year. By then I was the vice president. So when it came time to, I did, I was like, hey, y'all already know me. Y'all know my work ethic. Good. We good to go.
Right.
But what happened was I did that when it wasn't as many people there. So then they made us redo them for some reason. And I just kind of bullshitted on like some cocky junk. I was just like, hey, y'all know why I'm here. Like,
Yeah.
I know what to do. I'm good.
Right.
And it made me, and she won. I don't think it was no landslide thing. I think she like barely won.
Something happened.
She barely won. And what made me mad, because I think she played like softball some of the time. She came, I had on like a suit and stuff. I'm like ready to go. She came in there with some slides, like straight from softball, whatever she was playing at the time.
Look,
Did her
people really
speech.
wasn't fucking with Ian, bro. Like I think that was her first year too.
Yes.
Yeah,
she was
it
a
was
freshman.
her first year. She was a freshman.
Yeah, who did you piss off, man?
Bruh.
God,
No,
dang.
she
Bruh.
was, but she was, I wouldn't say popular, but I think she was like Miss Freshman or something. She had some type of like clout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was
Maybe.
like Miss Freshman, but like she ended up like winning.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just like,
I've been
they
running.
did the votes, and I was just
Right.
like, hold on, what you
That's
mean?
democracy.
Bruh, I ain't like that girl.
No, what? No, this is what happened
I ain't
because
like
I remember
that
I
girl.
asked Brittany. I was like, Brittany, did y'all? Because I was real cool with y'all little clique. I was like, did y'all vote for me? Like, what happened? And she was like, well, she just you seemed kind of cocky. And Brittany was like, she was nice. You remember? You was like,
turned on your ass,
he was like, well, and she was. That was the first time I seen Black Girl Magic. Like,
It was real.
That was it.
real.
That was Black Girl Magic,
Hey,
bro.
hey,
I was-
black women gonna stick together no matter
Hey,
what.
I was hurt. I was like, did she really? I was like, she can't.
But
with the
you know,
flip flop.
I mean, Well, you still had a
See?
You were still SGA president. Right?
Yeah.
She was like, you ain't need the position.
Yeah, it was like, but when I look back, bro, I didn't even want to come to no SGA meetings. NAACP meetings after that. I was, because me, it was like a segment on campus. I'm like, this is cake.
Yeah.
I lose to a freshman. I'm like,
Bro, look, that's hit his confidence.
Ego real bad.
I just want to pass it down to a Sigma. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool, let him run it. But he ain't want that shit, man. But then I was pissed off too, cause me and the girl, we had exchanges. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't like her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I don't like her ass, blah 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 and shit. And then 2 weeks ago, I get a friend request from her ass. I said, what the fuck? Why she asked me as a friend goddamn 10 years later? For real? Yes.
Wow.
Bro, I was like, what's going on with that?
What up, Jazz? If you listen to this, ain't no smoke. I'm just talking
fuck you,
junk.
Jazz. I still feel away about that.
Not my
Not
Jazz.
that Jazz. We like that Jazz. Nah. Fuck Jazz.
So the friend request is still sitting.
Bro, and hell, I hit decline on that
you
Clear it out.
From 10 years.
Clear it out. I hold a motherfucker.
Well, I'm sure
Really.
she's probably not listening.
Hey, cause you never know. She did pop up on that thing. This may come across a feed.
Fuck it. I hope she hear my mess.
Nah, cause Facebook will let you know now too if you leave one sitting. You still not responded to.
They will.
Like, what the so?
Yeah. But yeah, man, NAACP. That's how. I'm trying to think. Did I know Natalia before then? Because it was
I think
always
we all
you,
met
Natalia,
y'all in
Jasmine.
Jazz Bowers.
Jasmine
Jazz
Bowers.
was referring to.
Not that Jam. Hey Jam, how you doing?
Hey, Jazz.
No, I think that was we all came to that NAACP meeting.
That's right, because
That's how we met
Natalia ran for secretary.
Oh yeah.
And Natalia was the worst goddamn secretary I ever seen.
You're not gonna do my friend.
Look, she was look.
You're not gonna do my
Bruh,
friend. First of all,
this is what she did. She went in there and made this speech about I have been the blah blah blah
was the
secretary. I was the FBLA blah 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 president. So I said, boom, she about to be busting.
Yeah.
Man, I get in there. She was like, well, how do I send this email thing?
no, she did.
I said, what? Wait, you just said all that shit? She was like, I don't know how to send this email. I said, bruh, what the hell she done sold me on, boy?
But she worked.
But yeah.
We all work like we.
Cause buddy, what's the name? The older dude that ended up becoming the Kappa, the military dude that ran track, light skinned cat.
What did he do? Where you get it?
No, I'm trying to think of your cabinet because you had a colorful cabinet.
Why? Because he was light skinned?
Colorful.
No. I mean just like
black.
The like the people that were on your cabinet, like the personalities.
Oh, you talking about Dave?
Dave, yes.
Yeah, David Homer. Y'all remember Dave?
Oh yeah.
Dave was funny,
he
man.
was the military.
So was he the treasurer?
He was.
See, that's the thing, bro. Yeah, he was a treasurer. Yeah, and then we both became advisors, but we were like fake advisors. So the school was like, what do you mean you an advisor? Like, yeah, we the advisors, cause the dude who we thought was the advisor said that, all right, y'all the advisors now.
Yeah. Come on, buddy. He was like somebody's son.
Curtis.
Yeah,
I think his name was Curtis.
He was supposed to be somebody's son. He was raggedy too.
I remember.
Yeah, kind of heavy set dude. Yeah,
raggedy as hell.
Right. Yeah, he was. I don't know. I always wanted. He was so nice, man.
Yeah, he was.
Then we had Miss Pitts. She was the real
Dr.
advisor,
Pitts.
Dr. Pitts. Yeah, I'm sure
She was dope.
And I wonder if she's still down. She got to be still down.
I don't know, but I loved her.
Yeah, I love everybody. I ain't never met nobody say nothing bad against Dr. Pitts.
Man, Fort Valley was legit. Like, we had some really good professors. Like, I feel like my experience there was like the best. Like, I wouldn't trade it for like anything. Like, I know a lot of people try to say like, it's a whole big debate about the HBCU versus PWI experience, but like my HBCU experience was everything. Like, I really don't think I would have like got the same experience, or like, even though going to a smaller school, I still feel like I got so many opportunities that set me up, like especially in my career. So I'm forever grateful for it.
No,
the Fort Valley State University.
That's what I was getting into before we went in, back on the NAACP thing, is because I heard y'all say y'all got y'all masters from schools that seem like they're majority PWIs.
Yeah.
So like comparison wise, like you guys of course have a child. Like would you want them to follow the same track that you went, where hey, go to a HBCU?
Nah, I got this one. I got this
yeah, and then going, because that's a debate, because
nah, it really is.
Because to me, it's like, yeah, you can have the experience at the HBCU, but it is a lot of struggles.
Yeah.
Why not just go to a PWI and get it all out the way there?
Yeah.
Get your undergrad and your master's straight from there and be straight.
Right.
Because all right, so I can give you the background with me. So I went to 3 schools undergrad. I went to 3 different schools. So I started my freshman year. I started at the University of Houston.
So
I went out
that.
Yeah, so I went out there because I was going to play football.
Okay.
I was actually a walk on for the football team there, but I majored in architecture starting out. Excuse me. And then I couldn't practice because like with architecture, there's a studio that you have to do. It's like a 3-hour studio Monday through Thursday. They're practicing at that same time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, okay, well, I might change my major. I went the whole year and I was like, man, I don't really think I like architecture like I think I do. So I was gonna end up changing to computer engineering. But the way that the University of Houston was set up is that you have to be accepted into the College of Engineering to actually even change your major. It's completely separate. You can't just be like, oh, I changed my major. I'm business now. Oh, I'm chemistry now.
Valley, you can do
You can
that.
just change it like you can just be like, one day I'm this, one day I'm that. Like it's just a difference. So like when I tried to change it, it was like, no, you have to like be a freshman another year. And I'm just like, bro, like I'm not about to sit here and do this again, like taking the base courses to get into this college. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. So then I ended up transferring to Morehouse. I was transferred to Morehouse for fall of 2008. So I was there because my brother-in-law, his line brother was one of the professors there. Okay. So it was actually gonna be between Fort Valley or Morehouse. And this is her freshman
big
year.
difference. It's a big stark difference.
Yeah.
It's different.
But yeah. But Morehouse is straight, no problem. I got a bunch of homeboys from Morehouse, but that's a different story. So like it was like I was like, well, do I want to go to Fort Valley? Because like this is right when me and her were about to get ready to start dating. And I was like, I don't want to make it look like I'm chasing her, but it's like I want to go, but I don't want to go. So then it was like it was a better situation for me to go to Morehouse at that time. Morehouse was expensive as hell. Like
what you mean Morehouse is still
right?
What's it like 45,000
a year?
A year.
Yeah, probably a year. Yeah.
Easily.
Is it still, because it was 40 10 years ago? Is it still 40?
It's private, of course it is.
But I'm saying it should be
saying
more.
it's more.
It's probably like 50 now.
I'm
It
sure
might
it
be.
is. So like I think it's definitely at least 60 a year. And so like I did that and I was like, man, and I'm living off campus, so I'm traveling from Henry County to AUC every day. And I'm just like, man, this ain't worth it. I can't do it. So I did that for a semester. I was like, I can't do this. I got to get my life together. So I sat out spring of 2009. Just kind of sat out, got everything straight. I was like, let me figure out what I really want to do. By this time, she's down there. She's like, Fort Valley's so great. Fort Valley's cool. I'm like,
You used to always hang out.
yeah, I used to come down there like every couple of weeks or whatever. So I'm just like, man.
Oh, I thought you went there. It was my head like, I didn't never see him during class.
Yeah. So I was just like, man, let me just like figure this out. So I ended up transferring down there and then I graduated spring of 12. So I ended up finishing out at Fort Valley. But I can tell you like when my experiences between 2 HBCUs and predominantly PWI that actually prided itself on being very, very diverse. Like they were like, oh, we're one of the most diverse schools in the nation. And I'm like, okay, this is cool, this is different. I'm around people that I never would have seen before. And you really get a like appreciation for it. But for like the black experience, for like understanding who you are as a person and who your culture is and what you really like, the history of like where your people came from and that kind of thing, like there's no other possible opportunity or any type of experience like a HBCU. I will say that to the day that I die and I'm buried. Like I have friends that'll be like, oh, I'm at a PWI, and whoever's listening to this, y'all know who I'm talking about. I still love y'all. But they'll be like, oh, I'm at a PWI, but then there's like at a PWI of 30,000 people, oh, we got 3,000 black people. It's like a mini HBCU. No, the fuck it's not. It is not the same. Like it's just
where
not.
everybody black.
Yeah, it's like all the black people stay together.
95% black.
Yeah, it's like all the black people stay together at this PWI, and when there's like a big group of people, it's like it's not the same. Like you have
It's
more.
just like the demeanor, like the overall.
It's
like,
just different,
the
man.
vibe,
It's just a different feel. Like you get a different appreciation because even with the professors, like when it comes down to it, most professors at the PWI that I went to that prided themselves on diversity, they're still about, hey, this is what you have to do. These are the things, the requirements that you have to meet. These are the milestones that you have to get. Do it. At Fort Valley and at Morehouse, it was like, this is what you have to do, but I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to put extra work to.
A little more hands on.
I'm going to pour into you to be able to do that.
But not only that, when you lead or when you're, approaching like your junior, senior year, going to HBCU, you have to learn how to hustle. That's one thing I learned how to do. Is like you have to hustle because those opportunities, they're not coming to Fort Valley. Like they just not. Like I could, our experience with me or both of us actually getting a co-op with Department of Defense.
Right.
They didn't come to Fort Valley initially. They came to like Morehouse and Spelman. And the only reason why the recruiter ended up coming to Fort Valley was because of Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore had a connection with the guy
Mr. Moore.
From DOD. And Mr. Moore called him and he was like, hey, come down. I have a couple of students at Fort Valley.
Right.
And that's how we honestly got in. If it wasn't for that connection and wasn't for like, Mr. Moore putting us on, like people not really, the corporate companies and stuff, they're not really coming to schools like Fort Valley. They're going to the big schools. Even, some of them not even going to Morehouse and Spelman. They're going like in Georgia, they're going to Georgia Tech. They're going to Georgia State. Coming from an HBCU, you really have to learn how to hustle. You have to network. You have to make opportunities work. Like
that's real. If you went to HBCU and you ain't learn how to motherfucking hustle, you go out and make some shit happen. Like I don't know, like you way too laid back then because I don't know how you got what you need to get out of that shit.
And I'm not gonna say I'm not saying it like as to bash PWIs or schools that have more resources, but there are certain things that people who go to those schools they're not going to learn and experience through experiences that they go through.
And some of them people don't need it. You know what I'm saying? They got the backing, they got the family, they got the money.
They already have the connections built in to where it's like they already expect that. Like we had to kind of grind to get people. Like I remember like when we did at the conference when we went to Microsoft.
Oh yeah.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, that shit was dope. Like we went out to Microsoft out in Tacoma, Washington. Right. I remember specifically like there was like a session or something where the lady or some type of session they put together where like there was resume building or like some lady.
I remember that shit.
They looked over the resume and I'm like, I never really had a resume. I didn't have anything to put on a resume. I just put like classes because I'm like, that's the only thing that you can really do because I hadn't done anything. This is like my sophomore, junior year. Yeah. And so like this lady's like looking at it and she's just like tearing into me.
That white lady.
And I'm just like. I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, why are you going so hard on me when I don't have like I have what I have like, and she's just like, no, with a red pen. I don't know why a red pen like fucks with your mind like that. Like, you can go ahead. Like, I don't know why a red pen like does something to your psyche. If it's a black pen, a blue pen, you like, all right, cool. But like, she's just like going. She's like, oh, you don't need this. Like, literally writing big X's on my paper, and like just I'm just like. I feel defeated.
Hey, bro, I appreciated that lady, bro. She was nice to me, though. She was like, I like your resume.
She told me, I think she picked me out. I was like, nah, I'm going in on you. I was just like, bro.
But that opportunity, man, we wouldn't have got that without, Dr. Soignier.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like if we, like, okay, when you go to some of those bigger schools, like, you're literally in an auditorium with, like, 150 people, if not, if not more. But I feel like at Fort Valley, I knew all of my professors like on a personal basis. So like that connection alone,
And one thing too is like you're going off of the which is it. When I say this, I mean this with all due respect because it's good that it's like this. If I go to UGA or whatever and say that I go to a company and say, oh, I'm from UGA, they're gonna associate me with people that come from UGA, like the good, and they could have had like hundreds of people. I could be not worth a damn, but they're gonna be like, oh, UGA student, whatever. If I go to them and I'm like, I'm from Fort Valley State, then they have to go by what I do, not by what anybody else.
It's a blank slate.
It's like they don't know, so it's like I have to prove a lot more than somebody else. So like you always got to work. All the same, you always got to work twice as hard to get half the recognition.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? So
HBCU, man, it's a big thing, man. So y'all gonna encourage y'all child to go to a HBCU, but it's not required. That's back to your question.
I mean, it's all about exposure too. Like my family,
because I want to get because we got to jump into the topic. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my family went to Southern University in Baton Rouge, so like I was exposed at a young age to like HBCUs, the Bayou Classic every year. Like we started going to the Bayou Classic when we was like 10 years old. Like me, Darian, and my other cousin, like we had these little matching like
y'all know
the TLC,
little TLC outfits, leather, colorful. Like we like. Yeah, like
It was
Bayou
built
Classic
into their
was-
culture.
Yeah.
So it was like my uncle really stressed like
Yeah.
HBCU,
HBCU.
HBCU.
Man.
You know, he took me on the tour to Howard and to Hampton and Fort Valley. So it was like, you know, instilled in me at a young age, like HBCU is the way to go.
That's cool.
And I am going to put that in our daughter, and
Yeah.
at some point, if we have another kid, which we probably will, I'll put that in there.
Plug, man.
I'm all for like,
No more drinking.
I'm all for free education, number one, but I want them to get that experience, and I want them to really be immersed in that type of culture because, like she's saying, like the Bayou class, like a lot of my family went to Jackson State, or like Tougaloo or whatever. So it's like there's a different culture just surrounding it, and I'm not just talking about the football games or the basketball games or the Greek life and nothing like that, but I'm just talking about the entire family feel.
Yeah.
Like you don't get that at PWIs.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying? So
that's,
it's
that's
like-
very true. That's very true. And you mentioned Greek life. Let's give a shout out all everybody on here Greek.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He got the shirt on, the fresh shirt, and my shirt.
It ain't fresh.
It's my shirt.
It's on.
You know what I'm saying? Return it. You probably wash it first, then bring it back.
Well, I'm throwing this right on the floor as
what
soon
I'm
as you
saying?
cut the camera off.
Nigga just came from work and shit. You know what I'm saying? Got Delta Sigma Theta in here.
Yes, Ada
You know what I'm saying?
chapter.
Make
Spring
sci-fi in
11.
here.
Hey.
Yeah, it is. It is. But we heard we saw some videos on Facebook. We saw Ada doing some outreach programs, man. We wanted to show just one of the video we saw they were doing.
Okay.
Putting back out into the community.
Wait,
so
now
to
what
speak.
line?
I don't know about the line.
What line first and foremost?
We just saw they were doing outreach. We like, oh, that's what's up, man. We like to see Folk Valley Greek doing good things.
Let me see this.
I can only speak for 11.
No. You just said Ada.
Gotta represent. Let me find that video right quick. Hold on, we saw.
What?
We thought Ada.
Wait a minute.
We saw a little Ada in this.
Yes.
Oh my. That reminded me of a little bit of Ada. I don't know.
I don't know about
I
that.
don't know.
Maybe the one in the front. She looking a little rat.
Oh my God.
She was like rolling a boat. I was like,
No, did y'all see the one of them swag surfing?
I started
see
to
that?
watch
I
it, but I
see
turned
that.
it
I
off.
gotta-
And that was in Mississippi State too.
They need to
I was
stop
like,
doing that
real?
song anyway. They shouldn't even be doing
This song
that.
10 years old. I was like, they done brought this song back, like for real.
And they thought they was like,
I was like, come on, man.
That's crazy, bro.
No, but before you get off the because I know we want to move on to the main
subject,
to the main subject. So my experience at an HBCU was a little bit different because I came from a high school that was a PWI. So Fort Valley was a big, like literally my high school was huge. Like our graduating class was like 300-400 us,
Right.
and like so it was like. The black community at the school was really small.
Right.
Like I literally, my senior year, I was in Nesby.
Oh yeah.
And I like I'm like vet tech, but I
Could've
joined
been with
Nes-
us, bro.
But I just only reason why I
You want to
joined
be with black
Nesby
people?
because it was
Black
black
people.
people. Like it was like, oh, there's a club with just black people. And we used to love when the white people we would have our meeting, and then it would be like a little bit before like 10, 15 minutes before school starting, the white people be like, is it okay? No, I'll get up out of here. That's fucked up, bro.
God.
Whatever, black privilege. No, but so it was a culture shock for me to come to Fort Valley, which was a very small town, very small school, and with nothing but black people. Like I was like, I went to high school where it was, Asian, Spanish, Indian people, just whatever, and to go to school with literally just black people. It's different because
Yeah.
we get on each other's nerves sometimes.
It's
Like,
just
I love
different, man.
I love my people, but sometimes I'd be like, damn, y'all do some stuff just as a general, just as far as like on an organization standpoint, just as far as how everything went.
Right.
But to me, like I love the experience, but so with me at Fort Valley, we have a feeder program that's connected with UGA. So when we're done with all our classes, like we get to go do our clinicals at UGA. Which, it's like the program, like with the vet program is like huge. It's all nice.
so
You can
kind of
stay
like
there.
how
Like
like
seat
with
up
the
does
seat
it?
up people.
Kind of like that.
But you would still be at Fort Valley.
But I would, like it literally was like y'all, when y'all do it, I think it's after y'all graduate, y'all go there.
Yeah.
But kind of like the same thing. But
That's like your intern time.
yeah, it's like an
okay.
intern. It's like a externship or whatever for the summer, or you just do it for a semester. Most people go during the summer, or you go through the fall, or just whenever. It's basically you go there and then you come back and you graduate.
Oh, okay.
But to me, it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth about HBCUs because I saw how much they weren't teaching us and how much I wasn't prepared just from going through there. And just like you said with the resume thing, somebody at Fort Valley should have been going over that with you. Like you shouldn't have had to learn that there. And you see there how I feel like a lot of times, and not to say there are not some HBCUs that don't, but like I know what happened for me. I feel like they didn't prepare me for the real world because that's what can happen a lot of times with HBCU, because at the end of the day, the real world is not going to be, you know, somebody looks like you, maybe, you know, doing a little bit extra and above for you. Like that's not going to be the real world. The real world is going to be like, hey, like you said, you got to do more for half the recognition. And that's what I saw in there. I was like, oh, we wasn't really learning nothing and we not prepared. And we graduate in a couple weeks.
Yeah, see, the thing about that is, like, you got to kind of look back as to why that is. So, like, even like you're saying, like, with Fort Valley, with it being a small state, a small school inside a small city. Well, basically, everybody that's in school is the city. Like,
That's the city,
That's the city. Like, that's just how it is. So, like, with that, you're already looking at a small school. Couple that on, you're looking at a small HBCU that doesn't get a lot of resources, that doesn't get a lot of people coming in trying to teach, that have those opportunities, that have been to these type of places,
that's the problem.
That can do it. So it's like you don't have it. We aren't prepared. I think more so now because a lot of people have more. We're living in a digital age. We're living in an information age where a lot of stuff is out there now, so people can teach more so than like when we were in school. Even though it's not that far away, it's like stuff has changed so much. But at the time, we didn't have, like, our professors, they didn't have the knowledge. Like, you gotta
and tell them about the type of who our professors was. I mean, from computer science, how many Black African American professors we had in computer
Dr.
science?
Sonia.
That's it. And she came towards the end. She was not there my whole time.
And if it wasn't for her, like in ACM, we wouldn't have got.
Cause I remember her. Cause I just remember seeing her.
Now, how many African American professors you had?
You know what's crazy, and I tell people that all the time.
What's this?
I went to a HBCU. We had one, Mr. Brown. And he wasn't even my major. It was like culture diverse. I don't even remember
so
what the
when you go
class
into
was.
like the sciences, like the STEM field, you don't really see a lot of
none of the
HBCU.
The thing is that makes me so mad because if anybody has ever been over like the ag department and the vet building, they have their own building. Like, and I've seen over there they're building stuff up now. It's so much land. Like, that's why every time you look up, UGA is trying to buy Fort Valley.
Yeah, because they got the second most amount of land.
It's so much land, and they know if we put our money and resources in here, it'll just boom.
Yeah.
But it won't have the same culture. But
the thing
it's
is,
so much.
The thing is, Fort Valley has that resource of land, which historically we didn't have.
Land grant institution.
Yeah, which is a whole nother situation with them trying to do that Georgia AMU.
Oh
shit.
yeah, that shit crazy, bro.
That's a whole nother different story.
That shit's crazy.
But like
dog.
the thing is, UGA has all the money to do all that type of stuff. Fort Valley has the land; they don't have the money. So it's like Fort Valley has to scrounge and claw to try to get grants and stuff like that to bring that type of stuff down there.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So it's like we have half of it, but we don't have the end to get in and be like, or to these big companies, like Britt was saying earlier, like we don't have that representation to the big companies to be like, hey, you got good students down here at Fort Valley. You have a lot of good people down here, and you need to put resources to them.
Yeah.
Cheap, and it could be, I mean, in a sense, it could be cheaper resources because you only have to worry about 50 students as opposed to going to Georgia Tech where you got to worry about 500.
But then you can't come resource light because we need to approach these good African American professors. Be like, hey man, I know you're gonna be living in Fort Valley. Yeah, we gotta pay you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of
that's why
people
not
gonna
coming
come
down
back.
there.
Yeah,
because honestly, like a lot of the professors we had, like I know they was just there for a check.
They
like,
don't give a fuck about us, man. They don't give a fuck about us.
They was just there for a check.
Phasey, all the motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They don't give. Man, I remember my last year of college.
Tan River. Crazy motherfucker.
My last year of college, man.
What, Dr. Zoot? No.
Man, Dr. Zoot don't give a fuck. Like, what it say in that book? That's all I know. What it say in the book? God damn. So down like my last year, man, I went and talked to every professor, man.
Right.
Every single professor.
Yeah.
And I said, man, this is my last year. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do after I graduate. I don't know what I this computer science. I don't know what I can do with it. I said I don't know how to turn this code into an actual program,
right.
an EXE I can run on a computer. Right. None of them gave me a goddamn answer that I felt confident leaving off. And the last person I went into was Dr. Swain, because I never took a Soigné class.
Yeah.
That was the last person in office I went into.
Right.
And I started talking and shit, and she wasn't giving me the answers I like. Be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because Soigné is a connection person now. She know people. That's what she is. She know people. That's her. Everybody got their superpower. That's her superpower, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we started talking about where I'm from and stuff. And that's how we got to like, oh, I graduated with your mama. You know what I'm saying? That's how everything started, man. I swear, like I bullshitted all through college. Man. I just partied college. And out that last year, I like, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do.
That was an old frat house. We all
that was
was
it.
like,
It was that frat house. And then I talked with her, and then I got back online. But it was just like she was the only African American person. And after we made that connection, okay, let's do this. Let's start this organization. Let's get all this stuff, and that's when we built all that stuff. We really built that together because she just took under her wing and said, let's make all this shit happen.
Yeah, and I only got it because of her. Like that was the
now
only
how
reason.
is because like that's one thing I was looking at y'all because y'all were computer science, and I saw because we always used to be like we didn't really know what Kelvin was doing, but then when I was like, oh, y'all in his major too, but. Have y'all ever had a chance to go back to see how the program is doing like now?
So they don't even have the program anymore.
They got computer science?
It's information systems. They've been got rid of computer
God damn, bro.
years ago. Yeah, I
I know
think
they
if
got
I'm
rid
not
of computer
mistaken.
science.
Bro,
I remember they was trying to consolidate.
Is she not there no more?
It's information.
Nah,
they
Soigné
have
gone.
information systems,
She left?
but it's not.
They always had information.
Yeah,
systems,
Dr.
though.
Soigné
Dr.
is
Soigné
like
left,
she's
yeah.
at
Gone.
Claflin.
I think
South
she
Carolina.
stayed like maybe 2 years after I graduated.
Yeah, I remember she was
And
having
She's like
Yeah,
a dean of science at Claflin.
Yeah.
Oh,
But she provided a lot of people with
that check.
opportunities.
For real.
She an opportunity magnet.
Yeah.
And the thing was,
she
she's an
legit.
opportunity magnet, but she's also what's known as a heat magnet too.
Yeah.
Like
Bring it
she
up.
rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah, she very like she gonna tell you how she feel, and she feel like she right
She gonna
9 out of them
go
10
for it
times. You know
regardless.
what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people don't know how to respond to that type of person. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like sometimes you need that real.
But she made a lot of enemies like in the high.
But I feel like she did that like on that scale, but she was always an advocate for her students. Like
Always.
her students came
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Like
Always.
she'll, whatever she have to do with the higher ups, whatever. As long as
go to
like
bat.
she was servicing the students, like she went to bat.
At the base of all her stuff, she just wanted to help, and
See,
that's what the African American.
Oh, because
Professor,
Brit,
man.
are you seat up?
No, I didn't do C-Dub.
Jazz did see that.
Jazz was
I always
C-Dub.
thought she was
I just
C-Dub
used to hang
too.
with the
Yeah,
C-Dub
I
people.
always
was
thought she was
C-Dub
C-Dub too.
affiliated. Nah, I went there.
Essentially, yeah.
I was there on that STEM scholarship from Dr. Deere. So I was the only computer science major on that. And I had to fight to keep that scholarship. They kept trying to take it from me because they wanted to give it to people in ag and all his students. I had to fight to stay on that scholarship.
No, that's what I saw. Like, that's what, like that '08 class, like, the class was just hustlers. Like, you see, they just brought a whole different wave in the Fort Valley as far as the scholarships and stuff like that. And just, they had so many goals. And it would be good to see, because I know people that are doing now and what people will do in the future. Like, somebody from that class or even before, somebody's going to do something good. And then the only thing is just, will our university allow us to come back and actually be able to help?
Well, I can tell you this from this side. Well, not even from computer science side, but because I was in the band, so it's like now we have a band director at Fort Valley State that is.
I saw you. I was looking tough again.
Hey, finally!
I was like, because
like,
Gavin or somebody posted it, and I was like, that picture looked kind of new, but that looked like how the band was when I first got there.
Somebody when they was in them little,
They looked tough.
Yeah, so because we finally got a director, like So when I got there in 2009, we had a band director who had a lot of beef with the former alumni. So he came in after Mr. Giles came in. Mr. Giles unfortunately, he had a heart attack at like 07 or 08, something like that. So then Jones took over.
I didn't even notice that. I thought he just retired.
No, they worked him because Giles been there since like the 80s. And he left and he would always come back because they couldn't keep people because they would just run him off. So Giles came in and Jones was up under Giles, but Giles, his health, he was just like, man, y'all running me so ragged. This man had a heart attack in the parking lot.
Yeah, crazy.
This is like, I think it was 06 or 07, one or two. So then Jones came and took over. Jones didn't know like the history of Fort Valley, which we can get. I mean, from a band side, I can get into a whole discussion and argument about that, but it doesn't really matter. That the Jones came from Morris Brown, so he basically tried to make Fort Valley Morris Brown. The Fort Valley alumni was like, no, we don't do that. We already have our own history over here. And he's like, well, I'm cutting off all alumni. So that's when like 08, 09, my crowd class, we came in, we just like, why ain't no alumni around here? We don't know what the history of Fort Valley is because I grew up on Jackson State. I grew up on the Sonic Boom of the South. So that's my side. Like, that's what I know. And like, I grew up on Southern too. So it's like, I came from that side. I come here and I'm just like, so what's the history?
You don't got no history.
What do we really know? And it's like, oh, I'm looking it up. I'm like, man, this is Morris Brown stuff we're doing. Like, come on now. So then stuff happened. 2010, he gets kicked out. 2011, we still don't have a band director, but we have somewhat of a staff where people are kind of like helping out and like a lot of people.
That's the alumni coming back.
Yeah, so alumni is coming back to help, but they never put a band director in for 6 years.
I didn't even know that could be possible.
It's a HBCU shit.
Yeah, trust me. So like they finally got a band director in. So this is 2019. I think Thompson came in 2016. And this man has like literally turned that band program around. He's actually looking like, we reached out to him. We got the alumni band back together last year for the first time in like 12 years. They haven't had it.
And they performed at the Braves game Thursday.
Yeah, so
HBCU
like
night.
the percussion section.
Oh, for real?
They had an HBCU
that's
night.
a good look.
They won 2,500 too.
Oh, good.
So it's like they finally getting those type of opportunities because they put people in place to actually do something with the program. And the people because Thompson, who's the band director now, he marched to Tennessee State. He's actually our frat brother. He marched to Tennessee State. So it's like he knows what it's like to run a successful program. He knows it's going to take not only him, but it's going to take alumni as well.
Yeah.
So when you got people that can work together to get that type of stuff done, it's like you can really prosper from it, you know?
Yep. Oh, yeah. And Fort Valley still have a computer science.
Boy,
Damn, Brit.
I was still a little sick on me. I'm like,
It's merged with the math department.
Boy was
But they
feeling
still got the
unaccredited.
same- I know.
nerds now.
Yeah. They still got the same professors.
It was up on the math before though, isn't it? Wasn't it? Yeah, it was up on the math.
Conrad still there? Conrad math though. He don't teach no damn computer science.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have that many computer
They don't have
science
anybody
professors.
dedicated to computer
Nobody.
science.
Where the black
But
folks?
Dr. Wayne still
Oh,
there.
Wayne still there. Oh, Lord. I know you
Lisa?
still there.
And Dr.
Yeah,
Zane.
Zane.
I had like Dr. Zane.
She was cool, but I think
I learned from her though.
she like came and be like, I think she didn't know shit about black people when she came. And then she was like, oh, they not teaching them shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? She like, oh, cause I see her make these faces, she be like, oh. And I was like, yeah. We don't know.
But I think that's the big issue what y'all said with the resources is because like black people, they're not teaching at these HBCUs. It's mainly foreign people who are at theirs, and then you're
trying to get a job.
They
Unless you go to certain ones. If you go to like A&T, if you go to Jackson State, if you go to FAMU, which
They got African American professors.
that are in those tech fields, like the ones that we're in, like the ag and all, I mean, even with ag, like the vet tech fields, the computer science fields, the computer engineering fields, they have black people that are teaching. It's not something, and I have nothing
crazy.
against foreigners.
Why we don't got them? No,
Because
I mean,
they're the bigger schools that can pay these people to do it.
man, we need to fix that, man. That's the
thing with
problem,
us,
man.
hey,
They don't care.
because especially you're seeing a lot because a lot of the professors that that look like us, we're going to those, like y'all said, we're going to those bigger schools who got the money, got the funding.
Yep.
Yeah, they want the money.
That's true.
Even you see it now with just normal stuff with, when you try to get a primary care physician, it's hard to find one. Do y'all have one that looks like y'all?
Hell, I tried.
It's hard to find a primary care physician that's African American.
Bruh, you can find an African one. You can find an African one before
that's
African
what I was
American.
gonna say. I was just about to say
you're
that. I was
not
like, I
gonna
have
find-
an African American, but when you said that, she
No,
was African,
like-
Yeah.
You'll find somebody melanated. They're not gonna be African American.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's because most of the money is in doing a specialty.
Yeah.
And so, and then that's more money. And you ain't trying to pay for that
We got to
too.
figure out this shit though, man. Cause
I know.
I mean, I be looking at. I'm thinking in the future, man. I'm like, I don't see how they can last.
Well,
I'm talking about all the public HBCU. I don't see how they gonna last eventually.
I think the biggest thing, and this is just for me personally, I think one of the biggest things is that you have to have people, like we said like a couple of minutes ago, at these corporations, at the big companies that have these people that are higher ups, they have to be advocates in a sense of all these companies are doing recruiting, every last one of them, but they have to say, hey, if we can put, I don't know, $100,000 per year at this school to basically teach this curriculum, we have a feeder school, and it's a cheap feeder school. You know how many companies actually do that, like, and they do that.
It's like a pipe.
It's a pipe.
Well, I mean, GE does it. I mean, we have like the executive schools. We have schools that we only recruit from those schools.
I know. Yeah,
and
they
when
got
you
one
look
in
at the
Hampton.
list, I think the only HBCU that is considered an executive school is A&T, North Carolina A&T, just because of the engineering program.
Yeah, A&T is dope though.
Them huge schools though. They
A&T
big.
got like 12,000
Yeah,
students.
they big though.
But that's what they look at. But they also have people that have been in those positions higher up that are A&T grads.
Yeah.
And so it's like you have to have that representation. It's like a chicken and egg type thing. You got to have people up front to talk for the people down back.
Yeah.
But not only that, so I know we talked about that, but you also have to have students that are motivated. I feel like my class, like my group of friends, like we were different. Like we were like, we got to get this. Like, because I ain't gonna lie, like I went back, you know, like when I was approaching my senior year, and even when I like graduated, like I went back and I was trying to get people like, you know, to, you know, apply and stuff, but the mindset wasn't there. Like, and then even like a lot of people, when I did that co-op program, people thought I was insane. Like they really thought I was crazy. I had somebody really ask me like, you really gonna push your graduation date back a year to do that? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm getting this exposure and experience. So like just to kind of, you know, for people who don't know, I did a co-op program and basically with Department of Defense, and I alternated semesters. So I spent the semester at Fort Valley, then I was in Maryland doing my intern back in Fort Valley. So I did that for 2 years. So it did push my graduation date back. But I feel like if I wouldn't have did that, I wouldn't be at GE right now. Like that really set me up. Like the skills I got, the things that I lacked, you know, not learning in my classes, I gained it through experience from that internship.
I think we had those too, like where it was the co-op, but we was like in Sigma and we were students, and it pushed our graduation class back too.
But it's worth it if
that's
you
a
got
different type of co-op.
We had a co-op, but
drinking co-op. How to throw a party co-op.
that shit got pushed back too. That's another story I'm gonna have to say. I was in the co-op pro. That pushed mine back a year too.
You know, we said work, goddamn. Y'all for the co-op program.
Y'all learn event planning. And
Finesse.
marketing.
Damn,
fundraising.
That's what it was, bro. Damn.
That's life skills too. Though.
Yeah, man. But them HBCU, man, it's such a complex issue, man, with a bunch of layers. You know what I'm saying? It's coming from that side, like you said, coming from the corporate side, coming from the bottom side where we trying to get people there and pay them properly. You know what I'm saying? And then another middle side where the HBCUs need to get their processes together so niggas ain't waiting 2 months to get their refund check.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all connected, man.
It's all connected, but it's like
everybody gotta do their part some kind of way though.
Yeah, but it's like a problem sandwich. Now, how do you fix all this shit at one time?
Man, you can't. You never.
layers.
So how
You
can't get the money if they still fucking up shit?
Right.
You
The
know.
thing is, like the old saying goes, you can't eat an elephant in one bite.
Okay, what
You gotta
hey,
take small steps some kind of way. And
Where
then
the first part of the elephant you gonna bite?
shit. I don't
Tell
know.
me. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Like
like
where we
working at the
start?
elephant, like, where you finna bite?
The elephant like, okay, go ahead.
Take a bite.
Right.
But that's the thing.
Straight,
Like
bruh.
you have to have like okay, if you have somebody that is like okay, one lady that I actually ended up meeting that works for. So I work for Lockheed Martin. There's a VP that is actually like from the area that I grew up in. And I just found her like randomly because my sister saw like a video of her on like HBCU Pulse or something like that. Some IG site. She's like, oh, she's from Jackson or whatever. I was like, okay, cool. So I emailed her. I was like, I just want to meet you. I never knew you existed.
Right.
And I didn't think she would like talk to me. But she was like, oh yeah, let's meet at a time. I was like, all right, cool. So I finally get a chance to meet her. And we just sitting there talking back and forth. And we're talking about the same stuff that we're talking about right now. Where it's like you have to have one thing that I think is a big proponent is like you have to have that representation to at least have people look at these schools. Right. To at least be like, you know what? Yeah, like because you have to say if there are resources in different areas, if I'm a corporation, I'm always going to try to profit. That's the bottom line. I'm always going to try to eventually take over something because I want to have the most of whatever industry that I'm in. If there are students going to be coming in, if there are going to be a bunch of different, say if there are 500 students over here, but then there's 100 students from an HBCU, if that's 600 students, that makes the bigger pot of I'm going to get better students. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you always want to have more people competing to be. If you're a corporation, you want to have the best competing to be a part of you.
Yeah.
So it's like if you, I don't want to say you want to have to, what's the word? Like circle up, all the schools. But if you expand your reach, it's like you have more of an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know
better
what I'm
chance of
saying?
finding the right.
I got
person.
you. But it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Man.
You
We
can do a
just
whole.
gotta-
You can do a whole episode.
I mean, we just did a whole
I
episode
mean, literally, I was about to say, all right, we're gonna have to cut this episode into HBCU episode, a halfway HBCU episode,
It just happened, man.
and then we gotta go into the real topic, which we about to
the fun
switch.
stuff.
We about to switch into. You know what I'm saying? The reason we invited y'all on because y'all are our new parents.
Yes.
Relatively.
How new?
Yes.
How new is going? Come on, what's
She
going?
kind of big.
Let's
I
talk
saw her
about it,
tumbling
yeah.
and stuff.
I feel like I saw she doing
Gymnastics and
algebra and
swimming.
stuff. She doing all that.
So we have a 2-year-old. So she just made 2 in July.
2 years.
Yes,
2 going
2
on
years.
20.
I know.
Golly.
She is so grown.
Terrible twos. I heard about that.
Man, when I
Man.
tell y'all, like, I thought that was just a saying, bro. Like, I just thought it was like, oh, people just say that, but like, it really is. Like, she,
It's
like,
real.
Really?
she be running us. Like, I ain't gonna
So
lie.
okay, so terrible twos. That's when 2-year-olds are terrible. Is that the thing?
Yeah.
What's
So
wrong with
Then
2-year-olds?
turn 2.
Gee.
So it's
Like-
when they're at a point in their life that they're aware that they
Is
are.
this?
Yeah. It's like
that they
I'm a
have
thing.
options.
yeah,
Basically.
it's like they're learning that
I
they can
control things.
Yeah, they can do certain things. They're learning that they're not just they're dependent, but they're trying to become independent at the same time. So it's always a fight.
Yeah.
So like
So her favorite thing right now is no. Like everything is no.
Oh wow.
Like I'm like Zori, let's go take a bath. No.
Oh, hell no.
Zori, let's
Oh,
go take a
I-
bath. Like I literally have to pick her up and bring her up the stairs because
Yeah.
like she
because she
like,
understands she's like if I don't want
she
to
has the option.
Options.
Yeah.
she's like if I don't want to do it, I'm gonna say that I don't want to do
All
it.
right, let me jump back on this. All right. So when did y'all get married? How did y'all meet? I want to start back
Wanna tell
from
the
there,
story?
and I want to jump up in
I
here.
thought
So I
y'all
said-
went to high school with each
No,
other.
so
No,
it's,
we met in high
so
school,
we
though.
met in
Okay.
high school. So when I was in high school, so I have a cousin that that's from here.
Okay.
Aisha, shout out to Aisha if she listening.
Yeah,
So she went to FAMU.
Is that the chocolate one?
Oh, she was yellow.
Who's the
I think
chocolate?
he met. I
Is
don't
that your?
think
Do you have a sister? Another one?
Yeah, I have other sisters. Yeah.
Oh, that's what
But
I
yeah,
remember.
my cousin. So basically, she went to Eagles Landing or whatever.
Okay.
She had like this really big Sweet 16 party when she turned 16. So I flew up for her party. Me and y'all know Darian.
Yeah.
My cousin Darian
Shout out.
and
What's
my,
up, Darian?
my best friend Jaleesa. So we all flew up for the party or whatever.
Like I met
So-
Delisa too.
Flew
Yeah, you
up.
met Jaleesa.
Y'all, that's
I met Jaleesa.
bougie. High school flying up.
Okay.
Right.
We got flued out. We got flued out.
It was city girls before the city girls.
Right. Nah, but so she had the party and like I went to it and he was there and we met at the party. So I think we were like getting food or something or drinks. I don't remember, but like he just came up to me and we just like started talking and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we,
16.
talked. Yeah. I was 17
I was
at the
17,
time.
she 17, I was 18.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he was
So
18.
so Aisha is 2 years.
Younger than
yeah,
you.
2 years behind
So
me.
she made
Okay.
16.
So that was the year I was
17.
graduating high school, and she was doing her Sweet 16.
So yeah, so we talked or whatever, we danced, whatever, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And then when I got back to the house, I was like, oh my gosh, I had so much fun. And I was like, I met this really nice guy. His name is
Yeah.
Eddie. Well, I think you probably told me your name was Edward, and I just
No, so I grew up going by Ed.
How was that? And I want to know how was that side of the story? Did that match up with your side of the story?
Nah,
'Cause I know
that's
sometimes
perfect.
girls tell their own side. Like, nigga, that's not what happened.
That was exactly perfect how it happened.
Okay.
So I got to the party because Aisha invited me, but we were cool, but I didn't think we were cool enough to where she would invite me to a party.
Oh, got you.
So she was like, "You want to come to my Sweet 16?" I was like, "All right,
They
cool."
probably need some filler. They need some dudes.
I was
Yeah.
like, "All right, cool, whatever." So I came, whatever, and then like I saw her like dancing, and I was just like, "Yo, who is that?" Whatever. And I think I asked like one of my homeboys. She's like, "Oh, that's Aisha's cousin." I was like, "All right, cool." So at this point in my life, I'm like extremely confident.
Okay.
So I didn't.
All right.
I was like,
extremely confident.
I was like, I don't care. Like I'm gonna go dance with her. So we and her danced for a minute, whatever. And we like went our separate ways. Throughout the night, like I was see her because it wasn't like a huge room, but I was see her like whatever. And then she was over by the punch bowl, and so I'm like, well, holla at her. I'm just like, I don't know why I did it because I'm like, whatever. I didn't think she was gonna say anything, so I went on there. I just put my arm around her.
But you didn't do it like.
I didn't do it in like
he was hollering at me because like. It was more so like a friendly, like just hey, like it wasn't like
no, don't discredit. He said he was hollering at you.
Trying to discredit me like
but that's why I was interested because I'm so used to like where I'm from. So the guys, like a lot of the guys where I'm from, like New Orleans area, like the saying back then was like, say girl, say slim. Like they would go to me like that or whatever. So I'm so accustomed of like guys doing that. And like he actually came up to me and like held the conversation, so I was kind of like impressed. Like,
oh shit,
wow,
this
like,
nigga ignored you.
This is Atlanta boy. This is like, I was like more like that.
Oh no, baby.
Say baby.
That's how it went for real. So I was like, I asked her name. I think I asked her, I was like, so what'd you say your name was? And I thought about it in my head. I was like, I haven't even talked to you. And I'm sitting there saying, so what's your name? Like, what'd you say your name was again? And we had never even talked. So I'm like, man, I done messed that up. And then she told me, I'm Brittany. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, it worked. So talked for a second. And then, well, I'll let you finish the story because that was
so
it.
Yeah, and that was it. Like, and then when I got back, like, I was like, Aisha, I met this guy named Eddie. I was like, he's so nice and he's so cute. And she was like, yeah, he is really nice. But I don't think she really knew like much about you. Like, she
was
like,
a stranger at the party. Like,
I know. So, like, she knew of you, but like, she didn't really know you.
She was a cheerleader and I played football, so like we knew each other like that, but we didn't hang out. Right. And because she was 2 years younger than me, it was like I didn't hang around with her crew like that.
Yeah, but I just
she invited the cool older guy.
Yeah.
That what you saying?
He was a senior.
Yeah. Did you have a car?
Yeah.
That nigga got a car, nigga. That nigga got a car, nigga.
Hey, you had a car in high school. That's all you needed,
you was in there.
You was going to every party and people was gonna invite you. Be like, hey,
because
I got 5 on the petrol
For real.
But yeah, I was just like, he was real cool and nice, and I couldn't stop talking about him. And then when I got back home, I was like, I mean, I ain't think nothing of it because I was like, this dude way in Atlanta, I'm way in Louisiana, like it's nothing, like. Yeah. But then we became like, I think we became friends on MySpace first.
MySpace or Facebook?
Y'all writing letters?
MySpace, yeah. Okay. I think MySpace.
MySpace was popping.
That was 06. Well, no, that was 07.
Okay, MySpace was popping.
So you was in. When did y'all put each other in the top? What was it? Top 5,
top 8,
top 10. It was top 10, wasn't it?
Top 10.
I think you could control it.
No,
you control it.
It was by 8. So I remember it was 8. 16, 32.
Hey, look, family used to take up about 7 of them spots, bro.
I don't think we was like.
We wasn't like that, but eventually.
Yeah, but via social media, we just established like a real cool connection because we used to talk on MySpace and Facebook.
Yeah. It would just be like little random stuff here and there. I don't even think we
really talked on the phone. It was like strictly through.
Wow.
He didn't even have my number. Like it was strictly through.
Okay.
And then I remember one time we had came up there again, and then we like. No, we came up before that because I remember we hung out. We all went to Taco Bell because I told Aisha to call you to come meet up with us. And we went to Taco Bell.
I don't know why. I was with my homeboy.
I don't know. We just went to Taco Bell.
Jared. He might be listening. I'm gonna put this to him. My homeboy Jared. We went to Taco Bell. I don't know why she.
That was just one
me.
random time. Because I told her, I was like, "Oh, call Eddie."
And she was like, "Hey, come to Taco Bell. My cousin here." And I was like, "Dog, we gotta go. We
gotta
go. Like,
let's move.
Like, let's go.
I got the car. Dude. You got
let's go. And so we went out there. We only hung out for like maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that was it. Like as far as
this, you coming back to visit to Georgia.
Yeah, just one random.
But she was just like, it wasn't clearly for me. But it was right. Sometimes.
And then the next time we met, so we still was online talking or whatever, but still nothing, because I mean you had other girlfriends,
Oh. Don't do him like that.
No, it wasn't like a relationship. But the point I'm trying to make was like it was really like a friendship. Like it wasn't a relationship or nothing. It was just like we genuinely built a friendship. Yeah. And then we came up for the summer, and it so happened to be your graduation. Yeah. And Aisha was like, "Oh, y'all want to come to graduation with me?" And I was like, "Wait, Eddie graduating? Yeah, I want to come." So we went to graduation, and then I don't know if I don't think I formally met your mama and all of them, but I saw them and stuff at graduation. We took a picture together at graduation.
Right.
We still got a picture.
All right, now wait. Now you jump in. Now is all this lining up straight or not?
It's perfectly in line. Okay. I remember as soon as we got through a graduation, Aisha was the first person that ran up to me and took a picture. And then she's like, "Brittany's here." I was like, "Word?" I was like,
"Okay." And you were still just as excited as she was on the other side of this thing.
Yeah, but it's like you didn't want to be like too overly excited. But
Yeah, you
like,
gotta keep it. Yeah,
you gotta keep it like down a little bit, but still be like,
you still gotta let them know.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
So.
Yeah, I got.
But I do remember after that. I remember because that was the same summer. So we had came up there because we was going on like a family vacation. So we went to Destin, and I remember we was in the car, and then I don't know if you had asked her for my number or some kind of way.
First of all,
I ended up getting your number some kind of way.
Tell the truth, Ed. Tell the truth,
So,
Brittany.
So if Aisha's listening to this, she knows this is true. Aisha did not want to put me on with her.
Oh really?
I kept asking, I was like, "Yo, put me on with your cousin." She was like, "No." I'm like,
"Dang." So okay, what did you do to Aisha? What happened?
Nothing happened.
You did something to her, one of her friends or something?
No, not it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Something. Look, now you laughing.
Cause we knew who y'all athletes was in high school.
Exactly.
I was not that type of athlete.
Y'all wasn't shit.
Who you had in the backseat, bro? Let us know.
Nobody. But she just was never that type to like do it. She was like, do it yourself. I'm like,
oh, okay. She one of them types. I hate them.
Wow, she the hating
You
cousin.
you do it your damn self, girl.
I'm like, you sitting right there talking to her like tell her I said this. She was like, no. And I think that's what it was. I was like, tell her I said this. She was like, no, here's her number. I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, okay.
She was like, all right.
I was like, cool, all right. So then we just started texting or whatever from that, and then just I think that summer, that's when I went to Houston. So
okay, that's what I was about to ask. Like, okay, where was this time period in relation to college? Like, have you?
So
I was still in high school when
high school,
and I was going to my freshman year of college.
Gotcha,
so that whole
gotcha.
freshman year, I mean, like throughout my freshman year, we still like were cool.
Yeah,
like just the same way we had been doing before.
Friend.
And then like I was asking her about college, like what she thinks.
Yeah, he gave me a lot of advice about like college and schools because I was looking at.
That's a good play, Ed.
I was looking at different schools. So I knew I wanted to go to HBCU. So I really wanted to go to Hampton, but it was too expensive. Didn't get a scholarship.
Hampton expensive.
And then Fort Valley was on my list. Then Southern was on my list, but I wanted to get out of Louisiana and Prairie View. That was the other school.
Oh yeah. I forgot about Prairie View.
Out of those schools. So I remember like I had told him like I'm thinking about Prairie View, and I was like, but I'm kind of nervous because I don't know anybody in Texas. And then I was like, oh, but wait, he's in Texas.
Yeah.
This is a true story, true to my heart. Like I was at University of Houston, right? And so that second semester is when she's telling me, oh, these are schools I want to go to. And then she was like, I think I want to go to Prairie View if they give me a scholarship. By this time, while I'm in Houston, I'm like, man, I'm already thinking about transferring, getting out of there. I'm like, shoot, if you go to Prairie View, I'm gonna stay. Like I'm so sad. We're not even dating. I'm just like, I'm gonna stay.
Ed been got there planning for a long time, my nigga. Look, Ed been planning for a long time, bro.
I was so serious. I was like,
plotting, boy.
I was like, yo, I could probably transfer to PV, whatever. Like, PV is like sits right outside of Houston.
Okay.
So it's
I never knew where it was in Texas. I just know
it literally sits right outside, right outside of Houston. And so I was like, man, shoot, if she go to PV, I'm transferring to PV.
Yeah, because you ready to get out of what's called anyway.
I was ready to get out, man. So by that time, I was like, I know I'm going to a HBCU. Because the only reason, well, not to get back on that topic, but the only reason I didn't go to a HBCU when I left Mississippi was because I was just trying to get out of Mississippi. I was like, Jackson State is a great school now. Like my sister went there. Like I have a lot of family that went there. But I was like, I got to get out of Mississippi at this time because Mississippi, even still now, but like it wasn't nothing to really write home about. I was like, I got to see something different.
But when I graduated, I just I decided to go to Fort Valley, of course, and then I think we connected like when I like officially moved down here.
Yeah,
come on. Oh, when I officially moved back down here, I think we like hung out, and
that's when I ended up transferring to Morehouse.
Yeah. And I think we started dating. So I came to freshman orientation week. So I had my first week at Fort Valley. Right. And then I remember a hurricane ended up hitting New Orleans. It was like a smaller hurricane. It wasn't bad. But it was Labor Day weekend. And then all my family ended up coming to Atlanta or whatever. So I went home that weekend. So when I went home, I went to hang out with him. And I think that's when you like officially asked me.
Yeah, because by that time I was like, man, I really want to date her, but. And this was
after that, y'all a couple years in knowing each other, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like this was the dude side of me. I was like, man, I don't want to date her during her freshman year because I don't want her to be like she's missing out. You know what I'm saying?
That's very thoughtful.
I was like,
that ain't the dude side of you. I thought she was gonna say something totally different. I thought she was gonna be like, I don't want her to date nobody else.
That's the nigga side right there. Man, he said, dude.
Yes.
Like, maybe
that was different.
Because I was like, I know what and I ain't saying like I was like with a bunch of girls and nothing like that my freshman year. But I'm saying like I know what I experienced.
You know how it is.
I know how, and I'm like I kind of want her to like not be locked down to go through like the ups and downs of freshman year to kind of understand what life is.
That was a very mature statement, bro.
And so like I actually ended up
way above me.
So I actually ended up asking my homeboy.
I'm not even at that level now.
I asked my homeboy, I was like, yo, bro, ask her like, if I were to ask her, what would she say?
Okay.
He was like, all right, dog, I'm gonna call you back. So I was sitting there waiting in the car. He called me.
There
back.
was a mutual friend right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the guy that I asked, he and Aisha used to date.
Oh, okay.
So they were dated, but me and him was already cool because we played football, basketball, all that type of stuff. And so I was like, as I was waiting in the car, I'm like, all right, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, it's only like 5-10 minutes go by.
Right.
He called me back. He's like, man, bro, you better go ask that girl, man. She said, yeah. I'm like, a word? He's like,
When he
man.
asked me that, I didn't think he was gonna like ask me like the next day. I just thought it was conversation. Like he played it off like smooth.
He played off good.
Yeah.
So shout out to nephew. He know who he is.
Yeah.
Nephew, the plug. Right.
Yeah. So So I guess September.
It was like August. It was like right before.
Okay. All right.
So we got married a week before we started dating.
A week after.
My bad. A week after we started dating.
So when did y'all get married? That was I can't remember when that was. I was there.
September 6th, 2015.
Yeah.
2000.
Dang, so y'all have been dating for
since 08.
like 12 years. What's coming up on 12 years?
Well, yeah,
man?
That's
coming up.
So we dated.
Fly,
so
man.
we started dating in 08.
Yep.
Y'all count that in the hole when somebody say how long y'all
Been together.
Yeah,
okay.
Been together and been married is
I guess.
different.
Two
It's
different
Yeah.
things,
way
right?
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way different.
But it's been
Damn.
like been together consistent, like no breaks, like just
Yeah.
But see, that's what, cause y'all know I newly got just married. Like, is it really? Thank you. Is it really that different from when y'all were not married? Were y'all living together? Cause y'all can say it now, but
For one semester,
were y'all living together before y'all got married?
When she did her last co-op in Maryland, she stayed with me.
because he was working full time.
I was already working up there full time.
Okay.
So
that was
instead of her
my
having
senior
to get,
year.
Yeah, so instead of her having to get an apartment, I was like, you just come stay with me.
So that was our first time like staying together, and that's when I like really realized that hey, like I
This
could,
is it.
yeah, like this is
That's the reason
guy.
I did it, because I was like, I know I'm a problem.
But at first you didn't want, you was
I
hesitant.
did because I was just like,
I was about to ask, like, what did y'all? So you have a problem with staying together before marriage, or like?
I don't, but so I could say so with us because it worked out because I was like, there's a finite amount of time that she's going to be here. So I know she's going to be here for this amount of time and she's going to leave at this amount of time.
I think with you is more so like, I guess the initial thought was like, this is a commitment if we.
No, it wasn't even a commitment. It was just like,
you knew she was gonna leave at one point.
yeah, so
like,
I wasn't worried about
too
that.
worried because you're like, oh, you're gonna be here.
I was like, you're gonna be here for 3 months and you're gonna leave.
And
So it's like, I know about that, but my thing was like, I was nervous in a sense of, I want this to happen, but I'm also afraid of it happening.
You say this.
I want us to be together in a sense of being able to be comfortable around each other and living with each other.
Okay.
Because that was my that was the last thing that I had to like mark off my checklist to be like, I want to marry this girl.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I want this to happen, but I'm also nervous that if this doesn't happen, then everything else is not going to fall into place. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, I got you.
Because
That's interesting.
Because I was just like, man, like I really love this girl this time. I've never lived with her, so I don't know what she's like outside of me living with her.
Yeah, the real.
I don't know what the real.
Yeah.
I know her, but do I know the real her? Like
Ah.
waking up next to her, like all the
booger in her nose and all that stuff.
all that's like that plays a big part, man. Like I promise you. So I was like, man, I'm willing to go through this, but I'm also nervous about going through this at the same time.
And then that experience was okay for both of y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was no problems. It wasn't no like.
I mean, we had like
regular.
Regular problems.
Yeah, because I mean, when you sharing a space with somebody, it's always you gonna get on each other's nerves. Like,
we still got on each other.
Bro, when we was in the frat house, I stayed up. Me and him upstairs. Bro, I was like, I felt that way, man. Yeah. I was like, bro, like what the fuck, bro? Like we managed a bathroom together, and I'm like, nigga, what's up, dog?
Yeah.
Listen,
Kevin is sharing none of his snacks.
Bro, because niggas go in my shit and steal them. Like, bro, you should be sharing. I'm like,
He was the only one in the house with food stamps, so because he had a job.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different. Like you really do get to like truly learn somebody.
Yeah.
Like,
Man. Yeah, that's crazy. I guess I'm the only person here who hasn't reached that point in life.
Now, do
know?
do y'all feel as though, because y'all have had like time apart while y'all were together?
Now we did do long distance.
So do y'all feel like that made y'all relationship stronger? Because a lot of people can't last through the distance, because that takes a lot of trust and great communication. Do y'all think that y'all time before, because y'all were legit friends before, do y'all think that helps? Or?
I definitely think it does, because like I said, we truly established like a friendship, and then it turned into like, you know, like a romance or whatever. But that was another like real difficult part too. Like when when he graduated, he went straight to Maryland. So he took the job with DOD, and then I was up there for that fall semester. So I stayed with him for the fall semester. Then I went back to Fort Valley in the spring, and I graduated. So I actually had two opportunities. I could either stay with Department of Defense, or I got an opportunity with GE. Now, the opportunity with GE meant that I would have to move to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I was
Don't do Milwaukee like
Nigga, do you know anybody from Milwaukee?
No,
Milwaukee is actually right next to Chicago.
It is next to Chicago,
it get real in Milwaukee.
It do get real.
Yeah,
it's real
it's rough out
Don't
there.
know nobody in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
A lot of people in Milwaukee stuck in 2005,
Yeah,
bro.
like, yo, we went somewhere.
If anybody from Milwaukee listen to this, y'all know it's true.
You know how the dudes used to wear like the cell phones like around their neck? Like dudes was still
Around
doing
their
that.
neck?
Yes.
You know, with
like,
the little
with
key,
the little
like when you
keychain.
first got a cell phone, you used to have
But that was like when we was in
I
high
didn't think
school.
people really did that.
Like when we was
used
in
to see
high
people do
school,
that.
but they was
No
still
key.
doing that in Milwaukee in 2014, 2015. I kid you not. So like
It was like
they
a
stuck
time
in the,
warp, dog.
they really stuck in the 99 and 2000s, like for real. But yeah, so I had a decision.
Like, you heard that new Juvie joint?
Right.
You heard that new Juvie? Oh, man.
So yeah, so I basically, you know, had to make a decision, and I was like, you know what, I really want to be with him, and you know, I'll, you know, just take the job, you know, in Department of Defense.
Right.
But I talked to him about it because I wanted to see, and like I was, you know, would have taken a job just, you know, to be with him, versus I knew the job at GE in Milwaukee was a better opportunity. So like we were going back and forward, and you want.
I kept, bro, like when she told me the two opportunities, I kept telling her. The first time I said, go to Milwaukee. And she
Get
was
the
like,
best opportunity.
She was like, what? I was like, go to Milwaukee. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, do not come to Maryland. Because the thing was, like, the position, though, with the co-op, you're in different offices. The office the two or three offices that she would have gone to initially, they just got completely reorged, so they weren't even the same anymore. So she would have just had to find a position to just be in, you know, while she was there. And I'm just like, I was like, you got to look at it from a sense of your professional career.
Yeah.
If GE, mind you, she got to do Leadership Delta or whatever, and she already has that connection with the Deltas in Milwaukee. And obviously, as y'all know, like the Greek organizations have like a big, you know, network.
Shout out to the Delta.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
We don't know blood.
Same colors.
You know what? I never realized that. Similar. We need to reevaluate that.
But I kept telling her, I was like, yo, like, you have to do this. Like, you have to go, like, be better for yourself. Because I told her, I said, I want you to experience how life is as a professional single person. Even though we're together, it's technically a single person.
Right.
Because life as an adult outside of college, it was hard. Like, when I first got out of college, mind you, I was in the DMV, which is D.C., Maryland, Virginia, for those who don't know. Northern Virginia. It's like, man, I got up there. Like, when they told me my salary, I was like, dang, I'm making this out of college? All right, cool. I get up there.
that rent.
I get up there, I'm like, I was like, yo, what? My money is gone. Like, and I'm in a one bed, one bath. I'm like, my money is
You don't
gone.
have nothing with that.
I didn't have a dime to my name most of the time. I'm like, bro, this is ridiculous. And I kept telling him, I was like, do not come here. Like, just don't.
But I felt like he was more mature
Right.
than I was at the time, because I was like, well, I want to be with you, because if it was the other way around, I would be like, no, come with me, like, let's. But yeah,
I was like, you need it. Like, trust me, it's gonna be so much better for you, and it worked out.
But it seemed like the base of most of y'all decision was us. Like, okay, what should we do? And then you're like, still us, but what's the best you can do for you?
Because I was like, we can travel and see each other. Because the thing was, we had already been apart anyway. Like, we started when I was in Morehouse and she was at Fort Valley, which hour and a half, 2 hours drive or whatever. Then I get down to Fort Valley. That's when she started her co-op. So
Every other semester.
Every other
was a
semester,
part.
she's gone.
Right.
Then when I did my semester internship, spring of 11,
I think we was up there the same time.
yeah,
that
we were both
one
up there.
time. Yeah.
But then I went up to New Jersey in that summer, so she's in Maryland, I'm in New Jersey.
Right.
But then I come back to Fort Valley, she's still in Maryland.
Right. So
So
it's
it's
always
like-
been that.
It's always been like
Yeah.
we're far apart. So it's like we've made it work before.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, for you just to start your career out and like the troubles that I've gone through and just the experiences that I've had to go through, just kind of figuring things out, it's like the position won't be great for you here.
Right.
Like even though DOD is a really good,
Yeah.
it's a good place to be starting that career out. But I was like, you have a better opportunity with GE.
Right.
So I was like, please go there. And she like blew it out the water. She's still with him now. Like she's been able to move around and like really not take over the company, but take over every position.
I know.
Right.
She's basically been able to take over every position that she's in, and like people look to her like for leadership, and like they really come after her. Like she's proven herself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that her skills wouldn't have allowed her to do that in Maryland with the DOD, but it would have been a lot more bureaucracy that she would have had to go through to even try to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because I was only with the DOD as a government employee for 2.5 years. Then I became a contractor.
Gotcha.
And I got a better. She could have done contracting too, but I was just like, it was a better opportunity for me to do contracting than it was to be a government employee.
Yeah, make more money.
A whole lot more money. So it was just like, man, I kept telling her that because I was like, I want what's best for you right now, and by winning what's best for you, I know it will be best for us down the line.
Right. So then 2015 hit. By the time 2015 hit, y'all are together.
She moved down.
So that was the thing. Like I did the program I did was called DTLP, Digital Technology Leadership Program, and it was a 2-year like rotational program with GE. And technically, like you're supposed to stay with the business that you came in with. So I was with healthcare, but at the time I was like, when it was time for me to roll off, I was pretty much like, well, I'm about to get married. My husband is in the DC area, and then I hated Milwaukee, so I was like, I'm about to be out. So I talked to the
No surprises there.
Yeah, so I talked to the program manager at the time, and she was like, well, we would really hate to lose you, so let me see if I could find another opportunity for you. So she put me in contact with somebody from GE Aviation. So it so happened that they had a site in Virginia. So I ended up getting a job there. So that's how I was able to still stay with the company.
But it's so important to, like, anybody, if you're on your job, man, to speak up.
Yeah. You have to let them know what you want.
What you want.
And I feel like every opportunity like that I've gotten so far has been, first by the grace of God, but then, because I was able to express like that, hey, my personal needs at the end of the day come first. I still have to be a productive employee. I have to be happy. And if I'm not happy, then my production goes out the window. So
Another thing on the back of that too is like when you know your worth and you know like what you can do, like the skills you bring to a company, what the things that you can offer them. You be like, bro, I can leave y'all and be great somewhere else. Like I don't need y'all. Like I really don't.
That's a real thing, though.
So like when you go with that, I mean, not so much of a cockiness, but when you go in like, I'm confident that I know that if I leave y'all, I could be picked up wherever else I want to go.
Yeah, I mean, and I be on Facebook talking about when I say I'm living my white man life. To me, that's base. That's what base white people do.
Yeah.
Base white people, they gonna tell you how they feel.
I want this amount of money, and I want to work this, and I'm gonna do this, and
I ain't gonna do this.
Yeah.
This is what white people do at the base.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, why I ain't doing this shit?
Right.
Because
You know
I think a lot of that comes from black people not traditionally being in positions that
And I feel
allow
like
them to do that.
Yeah. And not only that, I feel like as women, I experience this personally. We don't truly understand. We undercut ourselves as women.
I can see that.
And I know I do that.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of times I have to,
Black women, they like superheroes.
Yeah.
but they don't. The thing is, a lot of black women don't realize that.
They don't know it.
They don't know. It's like, bro,
It's
y'all
like
can
you almost like you just kind of settle because it's like you don't want to make
That shit
Bro,
boy.
because here's the thing, number one,
Noise
and I'm not
and
I'm not trying to make it a black versus white thing, but like a lot of times, like if you look in society, black women are viewed more powerful than a lot of other people. White women are viewed as very dainty, very soft, very images of class type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Black women are like, well, I can't be that angry black woman at work. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if you assert your confidence, if you assert that, hey, I'm just as good as you, or maybe even better, more than likely I'm better than what you are, it's like they can only respect that. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I think the things you have to have enough black women, which I've seen in the companies that I've worked for, there have been black women at the top, which is a difference, which is a great thing that I'm thinking for not only this generation, but I have a black daughter. So it's like,
man.
I'm great that's what she's going to grow up seeing.
Black women, I mean, if we look at the stats, black women are better than us. Black men, for sure. They go to college more. You know what I'm saying? They're more educated. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see all these black women doing these bomb things, and you don't really hear too much about black men doing bomb things outside of the norm stuff, like entertainment, sports and shit like that. But you talk to black, you talk about it all the time on the podcast. Black women be starting their own businesses, doing bomb shit
and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, bomb shit and inside corporation and all that.
You know why? I think a lot of it is because a lot more out of any group of people, black women will support black women. Yeah. No matter what. Like with Kamala Harris coming up trying to be president, yes, she's an AKA. And I told Britt, I said if she wins the Greek, if she wins the presidency, they ain't gonna never hit the end of it.
But I mean, we still gonna vote for her. Like,
yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's pretty big right there.
It is. I get. I mean, but I get it. But it's like
KB love the K's stuff. KB love the K's, B. No, let me stop.
The Reds running Atlanta right now.
Hey.
Oh yeah. What's her name? Miss Bottoms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Air Bottoms.
That's Aisha Soror or Chapter Soror.
Okay, man, that's what's up.
FAMU.
But yeah, so okay, so y'all get married 2015. You figure out that you want to change departments, right? So at what point do y'all get settled and y'all are together in the same home?
Like literally, yeah.
Like maybe 2 weeks before the wedding.
2 weeks before the wedding?
Yeah,
damn.
Because the thing was, we were in Maryland, but the wedding was down here.
Yeah.
So like she moved.
This was the easiest place for everybody.
A week before the wedding.
It was maybe a week.
Like, so I'm wondering. I was like, when did they get back to Atlanta? Because that's
Because I flew out there and we put a U-Haul from Milwaukee to
moved into a new apartment.
Maryland moved into a new apartment at the same time. I'd already moved in like maybe 2 weeks before that.
Yeah, you moved in the apartment 2 weeks before, and I moved the week after. And then we flew down to Atlanta for the wedding.
Damn.
And then flew
That's
from
crazy. I remember that wedding. You remember the wedding?
The wedding was lit.
Bruh, I had a good ass time in the wedding. I caught the little garden thing. Look, it ain't kicked in yet, but you know, we still waiting.
Hey, man.
We still waiting. It's all good. I ain't no rush.
We had a great time at the wedding, man.
Yeah, we had a great time at that wedding, man. I really did have a great time, man. I don't remember why I was drinking. I remember standing in line a lot.
Yeah, I kept, bar.
And I kept going back to that line. I remember I had a lot of conversations in that line at the wedding. Yeah,
it was almost like I told somebody, I was like, it was almost like a Delta convention at our doggone.
It was a lot of Deltas in there.
50 Deltas.
I was in there. I was in that people. I was in that
definitely
people.
had the New Orleans feel.
Yeah,
but it's second line after that jump.
Yeah. With that's the first time I can remember hearing that song. That dun, dun, yeah. I had the old school. I don't know what that was.
Bus
that car looked like one of them big Tracy.
Oh, the Rolls Royce joint.
Oh, that's what
I think it was a Rolls Royce.
So
that joint that actually came with the place that we.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, for real?
That was a nice spot, man.
Pristine Chapel. Shout out to Pristine Chapel.
Where that was?
That was a nice.
They took care of all our stuff.
Yeah,
for us.
that was an easy
took care of
process.
everything.
We like had to plan the wedding like separate. We had to like do our marriage counseling virtual.
Oh, really?
By Skype.
Yep.
See, I thought y'all were here because I remember you. I thought you were in Maryland, but you were in Milwaukee the whole time.
Yeah, I was in Milwaukee for 2 years.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
So we were separate, like not separated, but we were living apart for 2 years.
Yeah.
But that was still close enough for y'all to get to each other.
To fly, I mean, we could fly.
That's about a 11-hour drive.
Yeah, that ain't no drive.
Yeah, so we ain't really.
That's like driving. That's like driving from here to DC.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, I don't even know where Milwaukee is on the map.
I think it's
like by
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Milwaukee is a state. I mean, a city. I think.
Ain't that like that like 2 states away, ain't it?
I think it's
boy, no.
I'm dead. I don't know. I don't know geography, bro.
So if you got Maryland, then you got Pennsylvania, then you got all the Midwest. You got Ohio, Indiana, Illinois.
Lord, so many states I don't know.
I thought Milwaukee was in the DMV.
Illinois is a state. Illinois is a state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Chicago's the city.
Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, that's Chicago,
Milwaukee is the city.
Illinois.
Wisconsin, Green Bay, the Packers.
Yeah, the
They're in
Packers.
Bruh,
Wisconsin.
you really bringing sports
So,
reference to me?
You know what Green Bay is, though.
I don't know where
We're
the
not on
fuck
the
Green
map,
Bay
huh?
is.
No one knows where Green Bay is, but you heard
So
of Green Bay.
Wisconsin, so Milwaukee up here. So I was way up there.
Bring out the map.
He like, dang.
And
Black-
then he was
okay.
in DC, like the DMV
Hey,
area.
So
So
that
you
shit
know
on the
Brit-
Great Lakes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know
now
Brit
that shit
IT,
look great.
because every time she'd be like, hold on, let me show you.
She like, yes, it's the
So you
degree.
don't think
They
I'm
still
bull-
here.
You don't think I'm bullshit. Here you go. Right here.
Oh man, okay,
So, yeah.
okay. So marriage happens. Y'all finally get to Atlanta. And
Well, no, we lived in.
yeah, I was separate right
Maryland.
after. Yeah.
Yeah, so we stayed in Maryland for 3 years, and then we moved to Atlanta. We just moved back to Atlanta a year.
2018.
Damn, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I thought y'all had been here since the wedding.
No, we
was
just
living in
moved back.
Maryland.
That's
just
why we
moved
never
back.
saw y'all.
Yeah,
We weren't here. That's why.
Niggas was not here.
yeah, we just moved back last year.
Oh man.
I know that.
Okay, cool. So y'all decide to have a baby before then, or how? Explain to me. I want to know before.
Did y'all decide? 'Cause
That's why.
like
Hey,
some
let's
white
go.
people stuff.
No, look, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So before y'all have a baby, like, tell me what's
The
happening.
married life.
Yeah, what's happening?
So I ain't gonna lie, it was rough when I first moved there.
Okay.
Man,
So so Milwaukee. So I was making good money in Milwaukee or whatever. It was really cheap to live there.
Okay,
I had
I
a
was about to say, I
roommate,
feel
the
like
cost
it-
of living. I was
Yeah.
like, I felt like I was balling
She
in
was
Milwaukee.
gone every weekend to Chicago.
I
Every
was
other weekend, she was gone.
traveling, just living my best
It's
life. out
Milwaukee.
the
Who the
country,
fuck
like,
goes to
Exactly.
Milwaukee?
Exactly.
Yes, the cost of
Milwaukee
living
was
is cheap.
as like cheap as
I
hell.
seen the
Like,
houses. You should have bought some property up there. I seen houses for like $500 up there.
Like, what you got in your pockets, nigga? You could get it today.
It's a lot of
So I
investment
was used to
opportunities.
having some extra little change on the side.
Right,
or whatever.
right.
So he always he told me about Maryland, and I mean I knew it was expensive, but I was
Right.
like, okay, when I was in Maryland at the time, I was a co-op and I wasn't making as much,
Yeah.
so whatever. But now that
Right.
I'm making more, I'm
like, I'm
expecting,
good.
okay, I'll be straight.
Right.
And I was like, we'll have 2 incomes, it'll be all good.
Right.
So I moved there and started paying rent there, and then all of this other stuff, and I'm just like, what?
She starts
where's
freaking
all my
out,
money
like, she's
going?
freaking out.
So I
Like-
started
What's
freaking
all the
out.
other stuff she freaking out about?
So
Well,
it's
it
just
was just expensive.
it's just the cost of living. So you got the rent.
What part of Maryland were
and then
y'all
my
in?
commute.
So I started in Severn, Maryland, Severn, Odenton, right between DC and Baltimore.
Because Baltimore is nasty.
Oh my god.
But you remember we
Okay,
wrote.
Trump.
Right.
That sound like shit, Trump.
Right.
No.
Baltimore's nasty. We need to clean up the swamp. We need to clean up the
I
swamp.
talk to people about it all the time because we went to DC for a centennial. We rode to Baltimore and I was like,
It depends on what part of
I mean, it
Baltimore
depends
you
on
were
the
on.
part.
we
going
went
through.
downtown to where
Not in
like
the
the
harbor
stadium
area.
the stadium is like
Okay.
the Ravens and
Yeah,
the
but
oil.
that's not too far from the hood though.
It was the buildings were black. Like I was like, what is this? And then you go to where like the Turpins and like Maryland University, and it's like
College
it's
Park.
a cloud, and
Yeah.
it's like. It's like
What's
they put
going on?
like they cleaned everything. But Baltimore's a very dirty
Yeah.
city. I don't know what it is.
I mean, it's
homeboy
one of
that's
those
listening to this
old
gonna say
northern. If you go to a lot of cities up north, I mean, because when you think about it, they were built so long ago.
Yeah.
The infrastructure is not as new. Because I felt like that when I went to where did we go to? Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh
looked
is an old
dusty to
city.
me.
He was in Pittsburgh.
it's a-
Yeah, I was in there
it
about a
looked-
year.
it looked dusty.
It's a little-
It's
it's a
dusty
little-
as fuck.
It is.
It's dusty as fuck.
That's why Wiz Khalifa look like that.
Oh shit! I was downtown there about a year.
Yeah,
man.
them
Like,
older
it's-
Them
cities.
cities.
But
them
when you think about it,
cities up
cities
there.
like that, that's like blue collar, industrial, like
Yep. So
factories.
that's why they look like that.
It's
So y'all weren't in like y'all wasn't in no wire type shit.
no,
Okay.
no. We was in the
No,
suburbs.
we were in,
I
like, the
prayed
suburbs.
for y'all.
So I started out in that right between DC and Baltimore, but then when she moved over, I moved a little bit further west because she worked near the Dulles Airport, which is right out. It's in Virginia, but
Yeah.
it's just on the west.
So that's
area
another
of,
thing.
DC.
So in Milwaukee, I literally lived because I was afraid of that snow. So I was like, I need to live as close as possible. So I lived 5 minutes from work. I could almost walk to work if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But when I moved there, he was working closer to Baltimore. I was working near Dulles.
Right.
So we had to find a middle point. So we stayed in Gaithersburg, Maryland. So it was like a halfway point for both of us. So my commute, mileage wise, it was only 30 miles. But my commute in the morning took an hour. in the afternoon, 2 hours. So I was stressed out about that. Spending a lot of money in gas, a lot of money in rent. So I was just like, I'm not
toll roads and stuff like that to have to deal with.
Oh,
too.
hell yeah.
Like,
so it was just
$20
a lot of money.
and
Just
shit.
utilities were more than I was paying in Maryland. I mean, than I was paying in Milwaukee.
and the thing was, it wasn't like we were like getting like premium shit. Like
Yeah.
we was just like
regular shit.
just the regular stuff.
just
Like
the
we was just
basic
like the
living
basic.
stuff.
And I was telling, I was like, listen, it's gonna be a culture shock when you get here.
Yeah, and I didn't believe it. I'm like, we paid all of this money to live in.
Tried
and
to scare
that's
you
another
away
thing,
for as long as he
like,
could.
The apartment that I was living in Milwaukee was like super nice. Like
Yeah.
I was paying like half the cost. I moved there. We got like, I mean, it was decent, but it wasn't like, you know.
Wasn't nothing that you.
It was just a shock for me. Like, I was just like,
You can tell demeanor. It was like, shit, hey.
He told you. He was like, don't come
I
here.
mean, listen, like
Brittany's like, ew.
I was trying to prepare your mind, but then she got there like the first month. She was just like, no, like she was like, where's this money going? Why am I paying all this? I'm just like, I tried to tell you, like it's like this is how you have like to live up there on a budget. You have to like be very, very disciplined. Yeah. But at the same time, being in the DMV, it's a lot of money up there. Yeah. So at some point, when you get into contracting or whatever, or like even like she should have been making a lot more than what she was, but because of the position she was in, they just whatever. But if you, like a lot of people that thrive in the DMV are contractors. They have to be because you can make 150, 180, 200,000 doing jack shit, like not doing anything. But you have, if you sell yourself enough, that's gonna make you all right. I can live comfortably because it's like there's a thing out on the internet somewhere. It's like to live comfortably, you have to make 6 figures in the DMV. Yeah, you have to.
I believe that anywhere.
Like in Atlanta, it's like to live comfortably is like 60, 70,000.
Yeah,
I don't believe that.
So
Hell yeah, you can find some place in
Nah, I would comfortable at 30,000 because I ain't got that much.
I was about to say, yeah.
I'll live.
Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, the cost of living is.
So
it's
much
more of a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comfortably in the sense of like, I guess like being able to pay everything and then like splurge if you want to.
Yeah, when you need
in DMV, it's like to get by, you have to be making close to 6 figures.
So it was a mixture of that, and then like I wasn't really feeling the job too much.
Right.
So basically, I went from working in a corporate office, traveling globally, doing all of that stuff, to basically going to a site where I was the only IT leader at that site. It was a small factory. Basically probably about 100 employees. So it was all like, factory workers, and I was the IT person at that site. My commute sucked. So she was so I was just like,
it was just a lot piling on her.
And then when I first moved down there, I started grad school that first semester. So I was taking my first class. That was like rough transitioning. So it was just a lot. And then, being newlyweds, it was just like a lot at once.
So
like so many life changes.
Where's the baby?
Yeah, where is this in the time frame of the baby happening?
So she doesn't come till later.
You saw they danced over the question now.
We're building the backstory.
We let them have a 5-minute dance now. Y'all was juking too. It was juking. I said, niggas juking over here.
So we knew we always wanted like children, but that was like later on down the line.
We thought.
So we weren't planning it. We didn't like plan anything, and like it just happened.
What y'all thought was gonna happen? Why people always say that?
We gotta show them the YouTube video. Listen, did what happened.
We were taking the right precautions, and it still happened. Like,
oh damn, that thing it was supposed to be here. Then you can't do that about that.
I know that's God. Like,
but the crazy thing was like I knew.
So what was the first reaction? What was the first reaction?
Okay, let me tell you how we found out and stuff. So basically, when we track it back, not to sound too crazy, I think.
It was homecoming.
It was homecoming weekend.
Oh, man. Shout out to Fort Valley again. Homecoming.
So I didn't know, I was pregnant or anything, and I ended up going on a trip. So I went to Costa Rica.
Getting lit.
And
getting lit. She didn't know, y'all. She didn't know.
So I had a swimsuit and I had like a 2-piece, and like. The whole time I was like, why my stomach look kind of like, I thought like
what's
happening? I didn't know what was going on. I was like, man, I can't even wear my swimsuit. So I just like put on a 1-piece or whatever. And then I, still had fun.
Little girls.
I look crazy. Wear the 1-piece. I had no clue in my mind that I was pregnant. Like, I kid you not. Because, this was a time when Zika was out, all of that. I had no clue I was pregnant. So I'm just thinking maybe I'm just like not, I need to start working out. Like, anything. Yeah, that's crazy. Because I didn't have any side effects or anything.
Yeah. Damn, girls just don't be knowing.
I didn't.
But listen, I can't, like.
And then I went to,
We went to New Orleans.
I went to New Orleans, and
But I didn't know. I had like something told me. I was like, she's pregnant. Like,
So you had a feeling.
I had a feeling. I was like, something's just different. I was like, I think you're pregnant.
But you didn't tell me that.
I didn't. I never.
No, you never said.
I never told her. It was like we were eating.
He was like, you look it. Cause in New Orleans, you know when you go to New Orleans, because I love New Orleans, but if I lit her, I would be so fat. Cause just the regular
But
it
places,
wasn't
you
even
gain
like-
10 pounds
I mean,
just from
Right. And
pulling
that's
up.
the thing. So like I went there and I had some fried food, and when I went home I threw up. But I was like, I thought my stomach was just sensitive from eating all that fried food. So I
Okay.
still didn't think nothing of
Yeah.
it.
But nah, it was just like
He was like, nah.
I was like, something's just different. I was like the way like, and not to get like too personal, but I was like the way her body is like shaped right now, like not even her stomach, it's just like how
Yeah.
everything is like sit. I was like,
Some
I was like,
different.
you pregnant. I kept saying to him, I was like, I think you pregnant. And
You
then
knew.
when she threw up, like when she got sick, I was like, she pregnant.
But I thought it was
man.
the food.
And then
like
she
I
got
wasn't even.
the crazy thing was we came back to Maryland and she took the pregnancy test, and then like I think I had just got home and she was like, Eddie. I was like, huh? She was like, come here. I was like, what? And then she
I
pointed.
took like
She took like
two different tests.
yeah,
That's
she like she had it like
Show.
she had it in the bathroom, like she had it like sitting on the counter.
Look at it.
And she
The
was like-
pissy stick that y'all been putting on the damn counter. That stick be
Nigga, read it. Nigga, read
like
it.
y'all ain't peed on that motherfucker.
Make sure I ain't tripping.
At first, no, so like at first I had the kind that showed a line.
See them
So I was
that
this
shit be confusing, right?
I know. So I was like,
Come
wait,
on
let's
now.
go. So they got the digital kind.
You
where
know
it
about that,
says-
Kelly.
Bruh.
Right, what you know about that? So they got the kind that spells out the words.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
went back and got that kind to make
That's the
sure
one.
because I was like, no, it can't be.
And then she showed it to me. I was
Can't
like,
be.
dang. I was like, for real? She was like, yeah. I was like, dope. Let's go.
Yeah,
And
man.
then, but
There you go.
the weirdest thing was like after we hugged or whatever. Then I was like, all right, now what?
Like,
He was like, what do we do? Like, do we
shit.
just go
Already
about?
had
Do we
no
go
kid.
about life? Like, go?
Yeah,
we
what
gonna do the rest?
happened?
Like,
So what is the next step after you find out?
I mean,
You
so
go to the
what-
doctor or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
find a
So
physician.
I wanted
Yeah.
to like tell my family and stuff.
No, bruh, listen,
he was
bruh.
like-
Her family can't hold water, and I love y'all, and y'all know y'all can't. Because here's the thing: when we got married, I didn't. So I told my folks first. I was gonna do it. I told her dad, who lives in North Georgia.
So
I
you
told,
say married? Oh, you told him that you was gonna get married.
Proposed.
yeah, I
Yeah.
proposed to him.
Okay.
So I told her folk. I told her dad.
Did you
like-
ask for permission
I
like
did.
the old school?
I
Okay,
did.
yeah.
Like 3 months before or whatever. Because I mean they talk, but they don't talk all the time.
Mm.
Like her and her mom talk every day. And so I didn't ask her mom until like 3 hours before I was gonna do it. Cause I knew good and well they're gonna say, girl, you need to get this done. You need to
Oh,
get
they gonna talk.
yeah. So I told, and there's a video somewhere on one of our hard drives that has me the video of like me doing it, and her mom just like starts screaming and everything.
Oh,
Oh my
Lord.
god! Oh my god! Oh my god! So it was like so cool. But then so we found out
Right
around
after Thanksgiving.
Right after Thanksgiving,
That
she was like,
weekend.
"I'm gonna call my mom." I was like, "Don't tell him. We going down to." I was like, "Don't tell him yet," because I was like, "We going down to Georgia. Let's tell him in person." So
And I couldn't wait. I
She
wanted to
was
tell
like-
somebody. That was
Right,
like the
right.
hardest
You
thing,
wanna
trying to
talk
hold
to
a
somebody,
secret
yeah.
like
it was
that.
like 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks. She was just like, I gotta tell somebody. I was like, do not, just wait. So then she told, like, we was at my mom. The way we do it is like we normally go to Louisiana for Thanksgiving. We normally do Christmas in Georgia, and so everybody come to Georgia, whatever. So then we spent the morning at my mom's house. Gave my mom a card with like the sonogram and stuff like that. She was
Right.
like, oh my God, I have a grandchild on the way, like her second grandchild. She was like, oh, I'm so
Right.
happy. So then like took a video of that, and then we did one with her mom, and then
So this is my mom, my first grandchild.
yeah, bro.
Oh.
Like this is the story. Like I got a video. There's a video somewhere of that one too. Like so, she showed her mom the card with the sonogram. Her mom opened it up. She looked at it. She was like, "Brittany, this you?" She was like, yeah. She was like, "You're lying." She's like, "For real?" And Brittany was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Yo, guess what? Brittany having a baby." And
Straight
everybody
up.
just went crazy. It
That's
was
what
so-
it is.
it was great. Like, and then
That was it.
yeah.
Yes.
then-
And so then she came along. So
9 months later.
yeah, that was rough.
What's her
It
na-
was a
what's her
big
name?
Zoria.
Zoria.
So it was a big transition too with that.
Well, let's talk about that transition.
so that
what- how-
parenthood transition, man.
Yeah, all right. So now you go from just y'all
Yep.
to a party of 3.
Yep.
Yep.
How does that work?
So at the time, so I was still in school this whole time. So even when I was pregnant, I took a semester off when I was pregnant, but like right after I delivered, I was on maternity leave for 6 weeks, and then 6 weeks later, school started back up, and then I
Okay.
went back to work. So it was a big transition.
Only 6
Because
weeks. You
you
ain't
go-
get no
I
time,
got
right?
time. I got 12 all
They ain't
together.
give you
I
no
didn't get
time I work.
fraternity,
That's some bullshit,
And
man.
because I was a contractor too. So like,
Oh yeah,
they
you
wouldn't
can't
Yeah.
take
They
time.
wouldn't
off.
give me
You
shit.
can't even
So,
take
yeah.
nothing off.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, my family is the best. Like, everybody came up, like, my mama, my cousin, my auntie, my sister.
good.
They
my
staggered it, so like
friends.
everybody would be like, if somebody
His
was leaving out
mama,
like
his
2 days, they would
sister.
come up.
That's dope.
Yeah, so we had help. So, like, up until, what,
6
February?
months in?
So we had her in July. Yeah, up until, like, February.
So what
So
year is
then-
this now?
So this
17.
is
Okay.
2018.
17. She was born in 17.
Right, but up until February 2018.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
had,
yeah.
like,
Okay.
support or
So
whatever.
so at that time the toughest thing is having the support. Like what's the after you have the
It's
baby,
just
like
trying
what's
to
the hardest
balance
thing?
everything.
It's balancing
like,
the time.
You going from like, so I'm so used to being like free on the weekends and just doing whatever. We could go out when we want, kind of do whatever, to like, okay, you literally have like a human that can't do
You got
anything
to
for
tend for.
themselves. Like you're
Yeah.
responsible. Like you can't just
That's
go out and
still
party
crazy to me.
and yeah, like you can't do all of that
Still
anymore.
crazy.
Like you
But
really have
it's
to take.
it's
It's the best feeling in the world.
really
Don't
is.
get me wrong.
It
Right.
really is.
But
man.
it was really a lifestyle change because we're used to like being out and about, being on
Right,
the
right.
scene, like it
Going
really
out
changed
with
your
a bunch of
lifestyle.
people and stuff,
And then
yeah.
like when all the family left, it was like, dang, it's just
It's
like
just us.
now. Like,
Yeah.
it was helpful when it was there.
Like before, they would be like, "Oh, her mom would be like, oh, y'all go get sleep.
Yeah.
I'll watch the
I
baby."
got you.
Yeah, like for the first 6 months, they would be doing that. But then when everybody left, it's like, "Oh crap,
Yeah.
now we got to
It's
be."
just us.
And then
Now we got to
after,
get up and like.
after they left, man, the daycare hit the pockets.
Daycare's real, right?
In Maryland,
Yo,
it was
in
Oh,
Maryland?
and y'all still in Maryland. How much they were taxing up
Man.
there?
for half. So
So I don't even want to
like
tell
so
them.
for half of it,
So okay,
Listen.
so she was on. So she was going to daycare. Let me see.
3 days a week.
3 days a week,
Which is
part
considered
time.
part-time.
So at that time, I had with my job. Thankfully, I was able to work remote. So basically, I would work remote
Right.
2 days out the week, and the days I work remote, I just watched her from
Right,
home.
right.
So for halftime, 3 days a week, we was paying like
400 something.
400 and something a week.
3 days.
3 days, for something a week.
Bruh,
You doing the wrong professor.
Bruh,
Should be watching
I
listen,
know.
let's do the words of KB daycare.
No, sir.
We can
Y'all
podcast
can
and
make-
watch the kids.
Yo.
We can have our own.
Not gonna be able to do
Daycare in
it.
Maryland is
Bruh.
it was
It's
ridiculous.
$400?
$416.
Easy.
Let's
That's
start
what- that's-
first.
That's for
The-
3 days.
The only type of babysitting I do is like watching people cars in the parking lot. That's the words of KB we need.
That's
to do.
pretty good.
That's where to get us some.
Bro,
little-
we can go downtown and make
Yeah,
just find a parking lot.
stand in
and be
front of
like,
the parking lot.
Y'all really could because
$10.
people ain't checking.
Bro, this nigga be pissed that people doing that shit.
I don't like. I argue with them all the time. Like, bro,
All
you're not
the
even
time.
gonna be here when I get out. When I
Right.
leave from here,
They not. they
You're
not
not gonna
even.
be here.
That's terrible.
Oh man.
But then so we did that, and then
yeah.
like in comparison to daycare here,
Yeah.
like for full time, it's like half of that.
Yeah.
For 5 days a week, it's
So yeah,
half
after
of that
dealing
amount.
with that and stuff, and after I graduated, I'm like, yeah, we need to move back down
Yeah.
south. We
But I'd
gotta
already
be close to
told
the family.
myself, like, I'm giving myself 5 years in Maryland, and then I'm trying to move back to Georgia. Or move either like to Houston or Charlotte or New Orleans or something, just get back down south. But I ended up doing 6 years up there. So it's just that it so happens that our daughter came around that same mark, and it's like, all right, you know.
Yeah.
So then she ended up leaving in May
Yeah, I was able
of
to transition.
last year,
Okay.
and I ended up switching down here in August.
So yeah, it was just it was a lot. Like with me personally, like during that time, that whole 2 years, it was like so many life events happened,
Right, right, right.
like
Back to
so
back to
fast,
back to
back.
back.
So then I was like trying to manage a job. I was in grad school at the time, still, a newlywed technically, and then on top of that, a baby. So
Y'all
it was
did
like
all
it
that
was too
at the
much,
same time,
like in
man.
the span of like 2 years. It was
Oh,
A
like,
weaker person would have folded. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah, y'all got each other, man.
yeah.
All right. I got some questions to ask y'all about raising kids.
That nigga got multiple questions.
all right.
Y'all ready? I got a list
Perfect.
over here. All
Perfect.
right. So what are some things that, and I want each of y'all to answer this because it's going to be different for both of y'all.
Okay.
So what are some things that you were raised with, some things your parents raised you with that you don't want to raise Zoria with? Zoria? Is that right?
Zoria,
Yeah,
Zoria.
Zoria.
Yeah. So what are some things that you were raised with that you don't want to
You go, Brit.
keep that tradition going? I'm gonna ask the opposite too. Tell me what are things that you wanna, keep going or whatever. It could be nothing.
I guess one thing that I wish that I probably had more exposure to was like, so like I was always taught like, okay, you graduate from high school, go to college, get a job, and that was it. Like I didn't have any background on finance or
Right.
anything. I didn't really have a lot of background on like Black history or anything. So I wish like, you know, my parents would have instilled like those values in me. Not saying that, you know, it was bad parents. No. I still had, you know, a really good child.
Yeah. A lot of our parents just didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't know. You know, I feel like we live in a generation where, you know, information is out there. So I definitely want to make sure I instill that in Zoria.
Yeah. For me, I think it's just the support in what she wants to do. Like, my mom was a teacher. My mom was a teacher. My dad was a police officer. My mom come from a family of teachers anyway, but she really preached education, which I'm 100% behind myself. But I also wanted to do like a lot of sports. Okay. But I didn't get the opportunity to do that. So I didn't get the opportunity to play like AAU basketball, or like I played like 1 year of football in middle school, and then I played 1 year of football in high school, not to my senior year. But it's like I wanted to do that, and it's like as a kid, when it's something like that, you want support from your parents. My mom, she was like, she didn't care about it because like she was like, well, it doesn't matter. Be about school. You know what I'm saying? And I get why she did
just
that.
Focus on
I completely understand why she did that. My thing was like, I know I'm good enough to do this. Like, I played 1 year of football in high school, and I was like all region. Playing 1 year, and I'm like, if I'd have played 4 years, I'd have been in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, just thinking something like that. So it's like, I wish I could have had that type of support to just be able to do it, but I just never had it. So I think that's one thing that I want to do for her. Like, if she wants to get into swimming, she wants to get into gymnastics, which we have her in now, or she wants to do cheerleading or whatever it is, still put forward education. But if that's what she likes, support her and let her kind of figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, you got any comments on that? I'm going to go to the next question.
That's because, like I said, with y'all, even with her doing the gymnastic thing, that's one thing I would say. Like, y'all, like the reason why we thought of y'all to come on the pod, because I feel like y'all are like the new age parents that are a lot more understanding, maybe like free spirit, for lack of better words, like free spirit as far as thinking. Because when we were younger, it was just like our parents were like, hey, when you graduate from high school, go to college, get a job. It was like really like no like backup plan,
no freedom to kind of figure things out.
Yeah, it's like, no, you need to, this what you got to do, and this what it is, and do that. So,
I feel like they push fields on you, like the lucrative, like
lawyer, doctor.
Everybody be a doctor.
Like
doctor, lawyer. It's like that's because that's all
be
they
the
knew.
Huxtables.
Yeah, but that's all they knew.
Really, seriously.
And that's not realistic, because it's like you telling somebody being a doctor and they don't even like science.
Right, so they scared of blood like me. Right?
I was telling Keenan about that today. She was like, yeah, you should, telling Preston to be a doctor or lawyer. I said, bro, nobody trying to put all the time to do that. To go to school and do that. And then the time it takes to invest once you in that field. Nobody want to work no 13 hours a day for somebody else to make. I don't care how much money you making.
Right.
People are aware of quality of life.
Right.
That's important. We know about quality of life. We want our quality of life to be better. Right. So we will spend more time doing something we like to do other than our job, man. Fuck that job. And that's how I be feeling. I hope my job don't hit it though.
Just kidding.
Yeah. This for the cameras if y'all hear this shit. Other than that, man, fuck that job, man. For real, man. All right, so next question on discipline. Okay.
Oh.
Are we passing out whoopings, or are we just chilling with this thing? What's going on? What's happening out here? Brittany, no. I thought, no, Brittany.
I understand the mindset. Like people like, oh, you shouldn't do it. But first of all, you have to know your child. First and foremost, you have to know your child. And I feel like every child is different. Some children, you could tell them over and over again, you could say, go sit in that corner. They don't understand that concept until you put some something on
action.
Because right now, like, we have to tap her, because like Zoria, one thing I will say, she is extremely smart. Like it scares me sometimes. Like I really feel like that she's older than 2 years old, and like a lot of the stuff she does, she knows what she's doing. Right. She'll look at us and she'll try to push us to see how far she could go. She already
that's the terrible twos. That's the whole point of it, because she's trying to test the boundaries.
Scary, bro.
So it's like you have to pop that little hand, because she doesn't understand the concept of like go sit down in the corner yet.
Because she's like, why? Like, if I don't want to, why should I?
Yeah. And it's not trying to put fear in a, we're not just gonna pop her for like nothing, Yeah. And I don't know. I guess like I feel like I mean, I wasn't a bad child, but I did get whippings every now and again. I mean, my mama,
every kid,
all of us. And I feel like if we didn't, like, I'm sorry, but these little kids nowadays, they wild. They like off the chain. And it's a lot of time because the parents not disciplining. Like, you have to discipline a child. Like, you have to.
However you feel like you need to.
Yeah, train a child up and they'll never stray from it. Like, that's real. Like,
I think the thing with Zoria too is that what we're doing is like, like we might pop her or we might thump her or whatever, but at the same time, like, because she's starting to understand, it's like we tell her, baby girl, you can't do this. Like,
that's important.
And that's the thing,
So every time if I pop her or whatever, I'll be like, baby girl, like, sweetheart, like, can't do
you have
this,
to explain
like,
why.
I don't want you to do. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Right.
Okay, daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Now
so
we're not
like,
talking about like no child abuse. Like,
you mad close me.
Well, no, you be punching. Like, some parents do that. Like,
watch out,
beating kids in the back or something. But like a little tap every now and
Now,
then.
Ed, how? That's what I'm worried about if I have a daughter, because I'm soft on the, like, even my little
and I
nieces
thought
and
he
stuff.
was gonna be like that.
Oh, Ed different.
Yeah. He's
I heard baby girl, but then I heard pop too, so I didn't know.
He actually disciplines her more than I do.
Oh,
She's
really?
afraid of him.
because as a daughter, with her, I feel like she has to have a strong black man in her life from the jump. It's like I can't afford to, even though I'm soft on her, when it comes time to me, I have to be like, I cannot allow her to be like to slip through the cracks. So if I do pop her, it's like, all right, baby, like, listen, if you're crying, I'll come here, I'll console you and let you understand why you can't do that. So it's like she's learning, like, she can't do.
And
certain
I feel like
things.
she listened to you more than she listened to me. She tries so much with me, like, but with him, all I gotta say is I'm gonna call you daddy, and she listens.
No,
to him.
I will. No, and I see that, like, that's why, not to get too far off subject, but like every kid needs their parents, but you see that, especially like with children with their fathers, like that voice, like even like when I'm around like my little, even when I'm around like my little nieces and stuff now, like it's like when they hear my voice, it's like a different reaction than when they're around their aunts or things of that nature. It's like they look up like, oh,
let me kind of stop.
Like, I
on.
hear not like a fear type thing, but like, oh, that's
that authoritative.
Yeah, it's like it's something. Yeah. It's something different. It's different from what I'm used to than the little baby talk type stuff. It's like, oh, what's going on over there?
Zoria, stop.
Yeah, and she just be
like,
whatever.
Zoria, stop.
She's like, oh, damn. It's like, oh, you for real about stuff? Okay,
you for real?
I thought she was playing.
Now I know y'all had touched on the fact that, like, y'all not be able to go out and do things as well, but y'all look good on the camera. Y'all look like for y'all to have kids. Y'all ain't put on no baby weight or nothing. Y'all still taking time to go to the gym and work out, or y'all just stressed and not eating? What's going on?
What's happening?
So since we moved back down here, I think is we have his mom that lives like right up the street.
Yeah, my mom was like
his
3 minutes
sister.
from the
I have
house.
my cousins.
So people, and they love
I got a
seeing
support
her.
system here.
Yeah, so they'll be like, I'm gonna pick her up from school. We'll be like, all right, have fun. Like, my mom will literally be like, I'm taking her for the weekend. All right. And then we can go do whatever we want to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to have a support system, even if it's not family. It's like if
friends,
you have a kid, like, yo, Kelvin, come watch, my girl, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes it easy because you have to have that break. Like, you have to. Because if not, like, you're going to go insane.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like, she'll be like, Eddie, I'm about to go, with Darian to the store. All right, I'll watch Zoria.
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch.
So now, like, my piece is like taking a bath, like just being by myself.
Yeah, that little quiet
now, since she's 2, everything is mommy. So I'm hearing that all day, and I'm like going. Like, I used to hate going to the grocery store, but now, like, when I go by myself, I'm like walking down all the aisles. Like, that's like my free time. Like,
oh man.
Now you say you used to game, right?
Yeah.
Like, what game did you play?
So I had a YouTube channel. It's actually still up. That I used to play like Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, 2K, Assassin's Creed, Tony Hawk, like a bunch of stuff like that.
You big on that Creed now?
Yeah. So you don't play at all no more?
No, I still play, but I don't record. Like, I just don't have time to do that.
Now, when do you play the game? Because you got a 2-year-old.
Yeah, I play when they're not in the house.
Oh, okay.
See, because the thing is, like, I only play certain games now because it's like I know I don't have time. You know what I'm saying? So like when Mortal Kombat came out, I told her, I was like, listen, just let me block off 6 hours on a Saturday. Let me play this story and get it out.
Right.
Because like I have to sit there and do it like that. Or if I buy like just randomly, like I see a game on Xbox Live that like I used to play back in the day and it's like for $2. Oh snap, let me go download it real quick.
Yeah.
It's like you had to get it in like that. Like I can't devote just coming home, getting on the sticks. Cause I ain't probably picked up the sticks in like 2 months, in all honesty. And I used to play hard. Like she'll tell you, like when she was in Milwaukee.
Oh, he used to. I used to be so mad.
Like
Don't do that to the gamers now.
Let us be.
We will not have this talk on the podcast.
Brittany.
Let us live.
Let us
We
be.
on the phone at night.
Let them
Like, I
play.
could tell when he wasn't when he was playing that game because he wasn't paying attention to me, and that's not cool.
Nigga hit them little buttons in the background. You're like, yeah.
I used to be so mad, like,
And I be trying to. It's like she be getting ready to go to
and I
sleep.
knew when he used to be again.
Like she be getting ready to go to sleep. I be like, oh yeah.
He
wanna
used to
get
be
you some
happy
sleep.
when
Like, yeah, you had to get some sleep. Like, because I would be like into the game. So it's like, I don't have that freedom anymore. But it's like I don't really miss it. It's like I have other things going on. But when I get an opportunity to play, if it's a certain game that I want to play, then I'm going to play. It's not like I'm just gonna pick up just.
See, like me, that's what I'm like worried about. Cause like
I was too.
That's my like.
Yeah.
My,
It's your
like,
time.
peace.
That's his time.
What
That's
they
his
say?
bath.
Yeah,
That's
What
his
they
grocery
say?
I
store.
know.
What that term they said? Be his
your
peace.
peace.
Yeah.
Like my game, that's my peace.
It was for a long time, man.
Yeah.
And then just eventually, it's like I got to a point of where for me to actually do that, I'd have to be alone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it doesn't bother me anymore now. Like I still have, like it's still there, but it's just like I had an idea like when we first bought the house, I was gonna have a man cave, like all my games set up and everything.
Come on
No,
with it.
stop, Ed. Cause
Come on
you're not
with
gonna you're not gonna crush my dream.
All that shit. He like, nah,
Keep it to
bro.
yourself, Ed. Keep it to yourself.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
That's that censorship right there.
Jesus.
Oh man. All right. Well, I got one more question, man. So this one is it's pretty broad, but I want to see where y'all go with it. Is what are your values, your independent values as parents? Like, what do you believe in as being a parent? Like, what's important to you?
You wanna go?
What's up,
Oh,
Ed?
sure.
What's up? What's up,
So
Ed?
I think-
yeah, one of y'all.
Yeah. So one thing that's really important to me is definitely like having a relationship with God. So that's something that I want to instill in her at a young age.
Right.
So when she was right before she turned a year, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got her dedicated. So we had the dedication ceremony for her. So that's something that's like always been important in my
Right.
life. So that's something that I want to instill in her life because I feel like a lot of the principles and stuff in the Bible, I mean, if you look at it from like, just a simplicity level,
Right.
it's really not like telling you anything complicated.
It's
or
the basic
complex.
things of
it's
life,
the basic
really.
things of life. And
Don't
I'm like,
do things to
right,
people
and
that
it's
you
not
don't
like-
want to
It's not-
do.
it's not
but it's
rocket
like
science.
it's good stuff that it's telling you to do. I know a lot of people kind of have their different views about the Bible and all of that stuff. But if you look at like just the core principles, like it's really just telling you how to live a nice, healthy lifestyle. And it's like, what's wrong with that? Like, so that's definitely something I want to instill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What about you, Ed?
I think, obviously I agree with Britt on that sort of subject, but I think one thing that I want to instill in Zoria and any future kids that we do have is like taking what we had from our childhood and what the things that were that we wish we would have gotten and wish we would have had.
Like what? Learn what?
Like, and it's like kind of learning from like our parents' mistakes. Now that we're both adults, it's like we know what adult life is like. And granted, it's a different time period. You know what I'm saying? So like life changes and society changes and things like that. But it's like what you wish you would have maybe received from your parents as far as like maybe I don't want to say attention, but there's certain things that you wish you would have gotten from them.
Right.
They wish you would have learned from that not no fault of their own, but now and how that knowing that back then possibly could have affected you going forward.
Right.
So I think that's one of the things is like life experiences and like, teaching Zoria, at a young age about like finances or things like that. We're just really getting comfortable with finances and I'm, 30 years old. She's 29, 28.
Yeah.
29.
You're not 30 yet?
I'm gonna be 30 in
Oh,
February.
we old as hell, bro.
Yeah, chill out, bro. Chill out,
So
bro.
it's like,
30 BJ party gonna be lit though.
yeah. So it's just like just learning from those type of things, the things that we wish we would have had at a younger age, and just being able to provide that for her and just provide a better lifestyle than like what we grew up with.
Yeah,
you know,
they can start off further,
right?
Like,
further ahead than where we.
Yeah, I want to set her up to like where she like straight.
Yeah, that's the plan. Like when we're when it's all said and done, she can look back and say, my parents,
gave me the foundation.
They gave me everything that they possibly could have had to make sure that I have a good life.
Because I mean, honestly, them white kids, like they be set up from like a young age.
That's
like,
the thing, yeah.
That's what you
it's
starting to see.
generational wealth, man.
Like I said, that's what. And I apologize, definitely not to cut you off.
No.
But no, that's definitely one thing that like I'm pushing, like that you see a lot more with our community. We're doing like setting us up to. Not saying, there's nothing wrong with going to school and getting a job and doing that, but I just want to make sure, like I have a quote unquote stepson. He's my son. I have a son now, and when we have, if we're blessed to have other children as well, just making sure that they have that, the foundation. They have the foundation to be able to do and the tools to be able to do whatever they want to, and not thinking like, oh man, well, as soon as I graduate from high school, like, I gotta get a job because mama and daddy need help with this. Like, nah, we good. Do what you want to do.
Right.
Mommy and daddy worked hard for what we got, so you're gonna work. We make sure that you have what you have, so you can
like even
work.
now,
do what you want to do.
We started the plan, the 529 for like the college plan. Like we trying to like put things in place.
Hold on, put people on game. What's that? What that is?
So every state in the United States has a 529 plan. Basically, what that is, and I mean, for those that know a lot of it,
this is my notes.
More, I mean,
we're recording this, Just to
what
let
it
you
is,
know.
essentially, it's a college tuition payment plan. Well, somewhat of a college tuition savings plan. So I know in Maryland and in Georgia, they had two different ones. Where it's one that you can use you can pick the investment option, which is essentially kind of plays off like how the stock market is, where you put in so much money and then it gains interest, yada, yada, yada. Or you can do, say in 2019, say if college per year is worth $30,000, you can lock in the prices of now for 18, 19 years down the line. So it's like you can either watch your money grow or you lock it for this price no matter what college it's going to be. It's like you're going to pay this specific price. Right. So every state has it. We had one in Maryland and then we eventually got it switched over. Some of them have it to where you can it's like kind of like the Hope Scholarship where it's only for Georgia. Like I guess they still do that now. Where it's very specific. You have to use that money for colleges in the state. So that's how they keep students in the state. Yeah. So they have that in Georgia. They have it in Maryland. It's different. It's different plans. Depends on the state. But I know Georgia has one. We switched her over to that one. So just having that on the side, just putting a little money here and there. So like when it comes time for her to have college, to get in college, say she does have scholarships, she still has that extra money that. Say if she needs an extra 1,000 or whatever, you already got X amount of money.
No loans.
Yeah, so that's really the thing. It's like you don't want her to have student loans, which we both have.
Or if she do, be able to pay them bitches as soon as she graduates, be able to pay them motherfuckers off.
Exactly. And even still, another thing with that is like with that money, I think some of them have penalties depending on what you use it as. But say if she graduates college with no loans and she's had scholarships, say at the end of the time when she graduates college, there's $100,000 in there. That money can be given to her. Period. $100,000 starting out of college in her savings.
That's good.
So I would have took 10.
Right.
So I was saying, so you see the base that she's already coming out. So say if she wants to buy a house or get an investment property, she's already coming out with that base higher than somebody else that wouldn't have had that opportunity. So it's like you're basically planning now way for the future.
Okay.
I like it.
I like that, man. So y'all want to tell me about this new business venture y'all got going on?
Oh,
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
So we actually just started.
We prepared over here.
we haven't launched, but we're gonna launch the site soon. So basically, it's we provide IT services, so manage IT services as well as like graphic design. So if you need like flyers or videos, corporate programs, anything, we're doing that.
Logos and things like
Logos.
that.
So yeah,
we
we've
hit
been
y'all
doing,
up then.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of work.
I like it.
So we always kind of did it like as a hobby. Like when I was an undergrad, I used to do like a lot of people like graduation invitations and like, videos.
Right.
So I was always like kind of into, Photoshop and like InDesign and stuff.
Yeah.
And even like after college, I still kind of just like,
Just
played
did it,
around
like,
with it.
People would always just hit us up like randomly. Like,
Yeah,
hey, can you do a
just
flyer? Like
randomly.
people like I'm doing flyers for my frat and stuff like that for my
Yeah.
chapter. It's just like, all right, yeah, I'll do it. But then like we sat back and looked, we were just like, we could really like do something
Yeah,
with
just
this.
something on the side that I truly enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And then my family, so my uncle and my cousin, they just opened up a funeral home out in Stockbridge. So we started.
We saw the pictures. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, so we started like doing some work for them, some of the flyers and stuff, and then
Programs
some,
and
like the
things like
programs, so the
Right.
funeral programs we do for the.
That's the Sylvains.
Yep.
That's
Is
how you.
that-
That's how you keep it in.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Support each other.
Yep.
Are they the first like black one down there?
They're the first one. They're the
In
only.
Stockbridge, in that area.
That's what's so crazy because for us to be in Atlanta, I feel like we don't see enough black owned businesses down here because it's a lot of people of color down here with means.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they don't have businesses. We
Right.
just
You don't see it.
know.
No, right.
Cause like I'm on my thing now and I'm on this forever. Like I want to support like people I know stuff.
Right.
Right.
Like forget all this, worry about other people's labels and wearing stuff with other people's names on
Right.
and stuff like that. Like I want to rep my people's stuff. And I feel like that's
Might
good
like
for us to
borrowing my
pop.
shirt.
Huh? Nigga, this the chapter, nigga. This
First
my
of all,
shirt too.
First
I'm
of
out,
all,
so I ain't
made that shirt.
I ain't out for pie.
Nigga, I made that shirt. I made that shirt. I made this shirt. Nigga, what the
That
fuck you
shirt
saying?
ugly. No,
Whatever, bitch.
No, but this to hop off my life. But I think that's great. Like, I love to see people with they side hustles and stuff because that's what you need. You got to have multiple streams of income. When you look at the people who have bread, they not just doing one thing. They do multiple things. So
Yeah, see, that's the thing
it's
too. Like
good.
a lot of people, when they hear that, they don't know how to actually monetize it.
Yeah, or
So
you
like,
don't know.
it took us a while to figure it out. Like we can
Yeah.
actually do that type of stuff.
Yeah, it really took me a while to figure out too, cause like I ain't gonna lie, like I see a lot of people like doing their own thing, and I was like, man, I need to be like
Yeah, you
not
gotta
trying to
do
say you got to do what others do, but
Just
I'm like
try.
I need to do something else, but I felt like I didn't really have anything. I guess I didn't realize that I had it's almost like I have a skill, but I guess I didn't really consider it a
Yep,
skill
that's
because
exactly
it was like
what it
it was
is.
just a hobby. Like I just did it for fun. Like I enjoyed like making stuff, and I was like, well, man, I could
You can really do it. And I think
Make a
with her
little
uncle and them, with them opening it up, there was a void
gave
that
me
needed to be
inspiration,
filled.
yeah.
So he was just like, "Yo, you going to come do some programs for us?" And Britt was like, "We can do programs." And I was like,
and now we're gonna do like the IT.
"Yeah,
Because
because
of
I
the
mean,
IT stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
like the whole infrastructure side of it. Because I mean, a lot of it is like what we do anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's easy because you're not doing anything different of what you do every day.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that I'm really starting to see. Like, it's so many like businesses like in your community that you can like invest in or start, looking for opportunities. I think sometimes we get so caught up, like, even in the IT field, the dream job is like, oh, go work for Google, oh, go work for Apple, these big companies. And we look at like these big corporations, or we look at like, real flashy type of jobs in the entertainment industry. But it's like, you could really start off small. Like, you don't really have to
You don't
have
need
like
them big.
an elaborate office or a big company
don't.
behind your name. Just get a couple of clients and like build,
you
like,
good.
Be
yeah.
consistent with them, and then
And
you're
if
gonna
you-
continually build from
Right.
there. You know?
Because as they grow,
You
gonna
grow.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's
But that's the thing. It's like you just got to change that mindset, and when you get the opportunity to actually show people that type of growth and that type of building, then it's like then you put in the younger generation, like, hey, you can do this. Because I mean, I've seen a lot of people like on Instagram or whatever that come out of college or that are in college that are doing like a lot of stuff like that. Like I don't know who it's two Omegas and at Howard Alpha chapter or whatever that like they have their own like moving company.
Yeah.
That they do for like people that are moving into the dorms, and it's
Yeah.
like you would never think.
Oh, that's a good
It's like, yeah, and it's just like,
Do that shit.
yeah, like I mean, apparently, bros get asked to move all the stuff anyway, so
Right.
it's like,
Why not make it a business?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like you have to find like sometimes like skills that like, that are like trades. Like
Yeah.
it's okay to pick up a trade,
And that's another, I think that's another thing that has to be emphasized
Yeah.
going forward. Like you don't have to. Everybody's not going to be a computer scientist. Everybody's not going to be able to code.
Hell no.
Everybody
Like,
not
that's
gonna
the
be an
dumb-
entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's the
Everybody not
dumbest
gonna be
thing
a
I ever
doctor.
heard. Man.
Like,
Like you can't force people into a lane where they are not going.
Everybody
That's
not
what everybody
gonna be
doing. You gotta be an entrepreneur. Like,
Everybody
But I feel like that's like the
code,
wave
bruh.
right now.
That
it's
is,
the way, and it's good. Like I love that we have that
It's-
mindset right now. Like we should have an entrepreneur mindset. Like no doubt
I'm
in
gonna
my
be a
mind.
boss. Like,
But I feel like
Nah,
people
need
get
some workers, B.
But and that's the thing, like I feel like a lot of people want the flashiness and
They
the
not
title,
thinking about that
but they don't
shit.
want to put the work in that goes behind. Like people don't realize, like even doing this side business, like I've been staying up till like past
Bruh.
midnight every single night trying to get stuff ready. Like it take a lot of work behind the scenes to like even do stuff for yourself, and people don't realize that.
Niggas
Like
complain
they see-
about the 40 hours of work.
yeah, like you really
You
gotta
got
put
your
in
own
work.
business. You gotta do 80 hours a
Yeah.
week to make it successful.
Right.
Easily.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? In that first 3 years, I mean, you ain't
You're
no
not gonna
telling
see
what's
no
gonna happen in your
profit,
business.
Right. And that's another thing. And then a lot of people want instant, because I feel like with social media and stuff, it's all about instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
People see, like, the thing that's killing me on, y'all follow the Shade Room? Like, I'm not
don't
trying to knock
follow it.
nobody hustle, but like all of these little become a millionaire in 3 weeks, like that. I mean, unless you get
That's
lucky
what-
or you get a
that's
big
what-
inheritance,
man.
like,
Who-
and there's so many people running those
That's-
schemes right now, and I feel
that-
like it's like false advertisement because
Yeah.
people thinking it's quick, like it's not.
pyramid
I
scheme.
mean, some people it may be quick. You may, get lucky
Man,
or
who
you know.
gonna be a million
but-
3 weeks?
Oh, this guy. It's this
Legally.
one guy that keeps showing, and it's
Legally.
like he make like $1 million every month, but.
Nigga,
When you
even
look at
illegal, let me see.
but when you go on his website and like he did an interview and it's like, what do you do? He says e-commerce, but what's your business?
Nigga, come on, bro.
What's your business? Like he keeps saying e-commerce, but like what is it? Like
That
what
man
kind of
gonna be
e-commerce?
gone
is-
next week.
What's your product? Like
He talking to people who don't understand shit.
Exactly.
They like, oh wow,
Yeah.
e-commerce. Like, bro,
What
what
does
does
that
that mean, bro?
so it's like
Yeah.
you
You
really
make
gotta
online,
work.
bro.
You
Like,
ain't
you
making
gotta,
no moves, player.
Yeah.
You really gotta put in work. So I feel like that just kind of goes back to like our original conversation with the university, like from the time you step on that campus, and that's something else I wish I would have like, because I mean I did well in college, but I wasn't as focused as I probably I know I could have did more, and I could have been more focused. Like I partied like everybody else. I wasn't
Couldn't have been no,
I didn't take my-
cause if you could have been, you couldn't be no more focused.
If she said that, she said that like, nigga, what was I doing?
But no,
my
I'm
nigga?
just saying, like, I feel like we gotta really, like, it's a fun time, but I feel like we still gotta take it serious at a young age, too,
I think
You
this-
gotta have that balance.
Yeah, I think going forward with this generation, especially like for the ones that I've been seeing that go to HBCUs, like on Instagram and stuff like that, I think that they have a lot of good representation and a lot of good motivation that's going forward for them. Like I think that with us, like when we were in college, it's like you're kind of just trying to figure it out. Like they see other people that are doing this type of stuff that are the same age as them.
Right.
So it's like they're like, well, dang, if they could do it at this school, shoot, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
Oh, if my homework can do it, why can't I? So I think there's a lot more, of an uprising going on now, particularly with HBCUs and black students. I think that they have a lot going for them. With this
Put in the work.
generation. Yeah.
And just don't expect everything to happen overnight, too. That's
it ain't gonna
one
happen
thing.
overnight.
I feel like that like everybody, see things happening so
Right.
fast, so they think people
Because of
just
Instagram and
automatically, yeah. But it's like you gotta put in the work. You gotta trust the process and go through it.
Yeah,
It's true.
I agree.
All right, man. It's time for the wrap up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I kind of let's do 2 wrap ups.
Hmm?
We're gonna wrap up the HBCU talk.
Oh.
He kind of just did it.
Yeah.
We're gonna go around again. Wrap up.
I said my HBCU spiel.
You did.
Yeah.
Support HBCUs no matter what.
Yeah, support. It's really like the best time of your life.
Speaking of which, I'm
Once
going
you
to the
go
Jackson. I'm going to the Jackson State Bethune Cookman game this weekend.
And when you're there, like just take advantage of every opportunity,
Give 'em
even
the-
if
give
it's
'em the
like,
tips.
even if it's small. Like we started out, like me and my group of friends. Shout out to Jazz Bowers and Natalia Ross. That was my crew.
Yeah, it was a 3.
Yep, we came in together, man, and we just like from day one, like we was a part of the yearbook staff. We got exposed
Yeah,
to
I was
people.
on
We was
everything.
I was
on
in there.
lecture
Yeah.
It was
series.
on all
Like
the
we
stuff.
literally, we
Did
just took
everything.
opportunities, and it really, helped us matriculate through Fort Valley.
Yeah.
I think y'all the only crew that made it. Shit.
That's true, boy.
And we still. So I was just with. So Jazz's birthday was on the
weeks ago?
4th. So Jazz's birthday
Oh,
was on the
yeah. I
4th.
did tell her happy
and then
birthday.
Natalia, her baby made 1. So we was all together.
Damn, I missed that one.
Yep, we was all together in DC.
Send a text.
So yeah, we still tight to this day. That's still my girls.
That's what's up. Please. That boy struggling. He would say
Wouldn't go down. I'm sorry. Basic Lives, man, you want to give us a little rap on the HBCU talk? We're going to get to the next one.
Just to piggyback off of what everybody else said, just make sure you're taking advantage of your opportunities and making sure yourself, because college really, regardless of what college you're going to, you got to, it's time management. You're going to have a lot of free time, making sure you taking advantage of your time and your opportunity and, be successful.
Yeah, man. Ditto. I agree. But yeah, I just want. I always tell college students, just look around, man. This is probably gonna be one of the best times you're gonna have in your life. Cause you ain't got really no response. Go to class, my nigga.
You have no responsibility.
You got one class on Monday.
That's it.
One job.
That's it.
You got one 60-minute class on Monday, my nigga.
Like,
and you complaining to me?
You know what Mondays are like in the real world, man.
And it's the same every day, my nigga. So I'm like, man, seriously, man, you in college, man, look around, man, smell the fucking flowers, man. Yeah. Like, for real. Take every advantage you can find, man. That girl you got a crush on, go say something to her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Man. That new major you want to go try that shit. Like, this is the time for you to go fail, do all this goddamn crazy shit you want to do. Because this is the time where you get to say, I'm sorry.
And you said,
my
bad.
College
kid.
Yeah, I was in college.
That's it.
And let me start over. And they be like, all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Right.
And don't blow that refund check, man.
Don't blow. Listen. Be easy on them loans.
That refund check, everybody be at Best Buy.
I still don't have nothing to show from that.
Nothing. That money be gone.
Don't be at the Polo outlet.
Man, what?
Yeah, man. So my sister just started, man. So I sent her a little care package. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out.
You saw a little post I put online. Man? I tried to get her to go to HBCU.
She wasn't having it.
Yeah, BSU.
Okay.
So you know,
but as long as they go, it's, I mean,
but
not knocking like.
Yeah, but
I
want her to get that full college experience, but she ain't, you know.
But she has to take her to homecoming.
But also cool, yeah. Yeah, I should invite her to homecoming.
She can still go to Fort Valley and turn up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I be watching. I don't get too turned. But but I ain't that type of guy. I mean, her little care pack, I had condoms and everything in there. I like,
hold on,
just be safe.
Who's sister in college?
Michaela.
The one with the son?
No.
Yes,
she old.
It's been that long?
Yeah, she 19.
I just saw she was like 12 when I last saw her.
19, bro.
Oh, Lord, we getting old.
She be making them little posts, and I be like, that look like one of them Instagram girl posts. I be like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all had a podcast on that?
Huh?
Y'all had a podcast like on social media and the influence and all that? Y'all should do that as a topic.
I want to have her come on, too.
Should. I
want to have her come on.
From that generation. Or from that
bro, that's a scared generation.
It is, man.
Man.
I just be like,
they don't have no generation.
You should get somebody from that generation come on.
I really want her to come on. But yeah, man, so that's it for the HBCU talk, man. We need to wrap her up for the new parents, new marriage. That's really, we cover both of those, really. Right. So Basic Logic, man, what's up? What you got for us on the new you know, you started, you kind of got in halfway because you had you got Trey now, but Trey 12. You know what I'm saying? So you skipped over all that beginning stuff.
Well, I kind of did, but it's my wife. She has, I don't know, I always forget the number. She has 8 siblings.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
it's literally always somebody's birthday. It's little baby in the house right now. So it's always some new niece and nephew. But I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I interact like real quick. I do the little raggedy daddy thing, like, and the uncle baby. Like pick up the baby and laugh. Oh, you crying? You boo boo?
You ain't had to wake up in the middle of the night change a diaper yet.
Put you back down. I'll let you. So it ain't became real yet. So I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared of that not getting no sleep. I don't know what. Hopefully I keep moving up in my job and be in the different. They starting to give the paternity leave. They starting to give. I think they give 2 weeks now.
So they can't tell me no. I'm gonna just leave if they don't give me to me, man. Fuck white man, bro. That shit, bro.
Update your resume.
I don't care. They know I leave. I don't care. Yeah.
Talk to Ed.
I be gone, boy.
Get them 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But no,
everything, man. Come on, get us.
No,
get us
just
the good.
just take your time to learn and listen. I think that's a big thing that, because our generation with our parents, it was kind of like a no, like talk back policy.
Yeah.
And I think because the kids now and the kids that are coming up, they're a lot more express. They want explanation. They're not just gonna let you tell them nothing and they just be like, oh, okay, that seemed cool. No, you tell someone, why am I doing that? So just have patience and try to be just like your parents did. Try to give your kids a better childhood than you had.
Right.
Definitely that starts with ownership. It's just leaving them something. A lot of times we were left bills. So
bad advice.
And bad advice. So leaving them something, like, everybody not gonna be no millionaire and nothing like that, but if you can leave them some type of property or business or shit, information.
Right.
That everything's helpful. Yeah. So that's all I got.
Oh man, Ed, what's up?
Man, the only thing that I could probably say for any newlyweds is always be willing to communicate with each other, because you guys are constantly going to be growing. Like, the person that you are a year ago isn't the same person that you are today.
Bro, listen, man, I always had a problem with that, bro.
Yeah, you gotta be willing to evolve with each other.
You
and
have to. And it's always gonna be a compromise. Like, you can't go in being like, it's gonna be my way, she gonna have to bend to it, or he gonna have to bend to it. It's like, nah, man. Like, y'all have become one.
Yeah.
So you have to take the best qualities of each other, understanding that you guys still have flaws.
Gotcha.
So, like, once you realize that nobody's perfect and you aren't perfect, I mean, it becomes easier, but it's always going to be something every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to learn, you're going to go through things together, but if you all have the understanding that you're in it for the long run, that you guys love each other, and you want it to work out, you're not going to have too many problems to where it's like it's unbearable. You know what I'm saying? And then for new parents, make sure you just have a support system, because you're going to be learning. Take advice, but don't take advice. Take in what folk are going to be telling you, because everybody's going to be like, oh, the baby's going to be doing this, do this, have this ready for him, make sure you can do this for him. Every child is different. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be certain things that you're going to be able to take from people, but don't be like, you have to do it this way.
Right.
Because your child is the only version of your child that is in this world.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to kind of mix and match and figure out how your child operates.
Gotcha.
So, and it's always going to be a learning experience. Just be willing for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Bria, what's up?
So with me, just like, with the marriage and even like with having a new child, like putting God first, like that's the main thing. Because I feel like, having that faith and that foundation has gotten us through like a lot, like all the struggles and, we have our ups and downs, but like really believing and being able to, work through, any issues that you have and not willing, to give up. That's like really important for me. And that, goes for the marriage as well as, that goes for your child as well. Not, giving up on your child. I'm not ready for those teenage years, because I hear those are pretty rough. But
hey, when we get to that point, we'll be ready for it. When we get to it,
we're going to have y'all back then.
like,
follow up.
Y'all gonna look a lot different.
I'm going to be great. It's like, man, it's going to be.
Oh, man. Hey, that's dope, man. My wrap up, man, I ain't got shit for y'all. I ain't married or no kids. So I ain't got no good advice for none of y'all.
But you will be one day. So what do you tell the future Calvin to be prepared for when he is at that point?
Yeah, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Communicate. I'm gonna follow up. Communicate. Man, I don't know. I don't even know if I ever get there, man. But I'll be a super uncle. Super uncle, super godfather. I'm a godfather right now.
Non-parent.
Yeah, non-parent, man. I'm cool with that. But we'll see.
Watch you have a kid in about 2 years.
Hey, right. Maybe back on 2 months. Hey, y'all. I got a baby.
Guess what?
But, yeah, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Thank you again.
This is cool. Like, I really like what y'all doing, like, with this, man. I feel like the information is valuable.
Appreciate it.
Because we was having a conversation, like, Because sometimes I just see like stuff on like social media, and I'm like, what's wrong with this world? What's wrong
Yeah.
with our generation? Like, where the, you know? But I feel like doing like positive stuff like this, where you can still have fun, but then be real at the same time.
That's
like,
what we about, man.
Yeah, like
Surround
it's
yourself
cool,
with
like,
positive people, man.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah,
even if it's on social media, like
Yeah.
follow Shade Room or whoever else, but also
Shade Room is just strictly entertainment, though.
Shade Room ratchet.
But a lot of people don't know how to separate it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
it's like you got to be
Exactly.
able to balance that type of stuff out, and just understand social media is nothing but a highlight. Like it ain't
really
real.
not
You know
life.
what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah, but great episode. Y'all make sure y'all follow us. Words of KB Pod on Twitter. Words of KB Podcast on Instagram and all that other shit. Facebook. We will be, the new season coming up. Well, shit, if y'all listen to this, y'all are in the new season.
yes, sir.
The recap is coming back, so y'all make sure y'all tune in. We'll be back soon. Peace.
Hey.
You're
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.